Alrighty, everyone. We are ready for the next run. We have BIOMUTANT with Big Scared. This is looking to be a fun one. Take it away, Big Scared.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I am BigScared. I'm a queer variety caster here on Twitch. I play a lot of scary games, but this one isn't exactly scary. It's a little bit more weird, if you ask me. And I'm excited for everyone to be on this journey with me. I'm just gonna get us started here with the fresh new game plus easy mode difficulty. And here we go. Once we load in, I'm gonna let my commentators introduce themselves. So time's gonna start in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, so we were specifically told to go into this with no information about this game. I'm Hop Up. I've absolutely never seen this game before.
My name is Derek, and I read the back of the box.
Pick up the pace.
That's more than me.
I'm so
I was
excited.
I couldn't. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna read the back of the box, so I know. Take the true '90s kid experience of reading the back of the box and going, "Yeah, this seems good."
I'm so excited for you both to be introduced to this game because it's weird, it's wonderful, and it's a little bit of everything. And I've been trying to get various people's opinions on what even is this thing. How should we be trying to describe it? Because it is so vast and broad and weird and wonderful that it's kind of doing everything. And I have a hard time describing it to people. So I'm curious if by the end of this you'll help me do that. First we gotta find Goop though. Goop is a very valuable NPC that's gonna help Out of Date here rebuild the Ark. The Ark is this vessel we're here in under the ground. Don't worry about it. Goop is gonna help us find the Soaked One. Now, with no experience of what this is, what do you think the Soaked One is?
Wet. Wet, water,
Drippy.
some form of amphibian.
Okay.
Or maybe a fish.
Okay.
Something you could only describe as probably sticky and not very pleasant.
Okay. Don't mind me, I just activated a fast travel point. We have to mark our territory, literally, in order to fast travel around the map. This is an open world RPG. Think Death Stranding, but cute. In more ways than one. There's a lot of walking, there's a lot of traversal like we're doing here. This is the bulk of the major gameplay loop. There's gonna be some combat interspersed between, and then there's gonna be boss fights. The Soaked One is our first boss fight. And the reason why this run is so long is because there is a lot of walking to get to our destinations. And a lot of interesting people to meet along the way. They all have tedious fetch quests. And so Goop is just the first stop of many on our journey here.
Suburbia.
Welcome to Suburbia.
Get away from the city stink.
So suburban.
Yeah. Now, you may not notice the state of things, but I'm going to state the quiet part out loud. BIOMUTANT is a post-apocalyptic, post-human game. We are in a world inhabited by entities that I refer to as funky little guys. There's 7 different tribes of funky little guy, plus some unaffiliated factions. And they're essentially various critters that have been exposed to Toxinol's goo, and they have evolved. These are the dominant life forms on Earth left over after the way back before times and all of the stuff that happened then. Now, I want to point this out early because otherwise it will probably be something that you'll be asking me about in 20 minutes, and it's the narrator. In the settings for this game, there are 2 important sliders in the audio menu, and I want you to know that I've cranked them both to 100 out of 100. The first slider is narrator frequency, meaning how often they will interject and chime in with things to say. The other bar that I have turned to 100 is narrator gibberish, which means it will become less and less comprehensible compared to other options for dialogue and narration. Now, my little mount here didn't quite walk up. There he is. It's alright. Don't worry about it.
The vibes I'm getting from this game, so far, are a mix of the following things.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
Okay.
mixed with Black Desert Online, that mount face is the Black Little Smoke Moat in Black Desert Online,
Okay.
mixed with Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, I see that.
I think probably just because I've played it more, but I'm getting a bit more of Spore from these characters because this is an interesting
Yes.
horse creature.
Spore
have.
is, I think, a very appropriate comparison. The creature that I'm writing is called a ganote. There are 13 distinct variations of ganote, and they all look
Let's hope the
wildly
beast keeps
different.
listening to
Some
you.
of them have
You
like
could have missed
elephant
this
trunks
glitch.
and
It's
long
called
necks and
man
donkey
blood.
ears, all on the same creature, and also polka dots. Some of them are bright red, and they look like foxes. Some of them look like bats that can't fly. This one is my favorite. I call it a little void friend. I want to say that this one is the Surf of Pelago ganote, just because that's the region you find it in. But in addition to the ganote, there are other mounts. We'll be seeing a few of them in the run, but not all of them. Some ones of note that are also living things, like the ganote is the Peewee Gargantua, which is effectively a whale you can rescue and ride at various points throughout the run. There is the Mecha Fingro, which is a mecha finger.
That there's some
You will see that later in the run.
goop flying
There
around
is
in there.
a bat that I'm brain farting on what the name is, but it's a gliding mount that you can use to traverse like aerial platforming segments in late game. We will not be getting that one. This is Goop.
Says it's
He's shaped
Goop
like a
said
friend.
Goop
What
said
do we
he
think about
can't.
Goop?
He says now he thinks.
Goop is a sea otter.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like
If
it.
not-
It's just a sea otter with a very plump belly.
Mm-hmm.
If not friend,
And the-
why friend shape?
Can hardly-
Exactly.
Angel and devil on his shoulder?
He
Uh-huh.
can't. You should be.
So,
You're lucky that
thank you for pointing that out. This game has a morality system. And depending on how you react to various NPCs and the choices you make and the dialogue you choose, either the white critter or the black critter will take precedence. They're both kind of the same thing. Not even from a design standpoint, but from a functional standpoint, because it doesn't really matter which side you side with. The narrator will treat you like crap regardless. They will talk smack about your
As the
choices.
narrator should.
shiny day.
Wow, I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the narrator. I think it might be in this marathon.
Nice and
Bard's Tale.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Bard's Tale for PlayStation 2 and PC, where the narrator is as much a part of the story as the character.
Just a few moves left.
Yes.
Make them count.
I want you to keep that comparison in your pocket for the end of the run, because I think that's a really important thing to point out, but I'm not going to spoil why.
So far, I'm getting the vibe the developers thought, what should we have in our game? And someone said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here for this. I love this idea. Just put what you want in the game to make it fun, make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
I do love to see games that take concepts from other games and combine them to better or worse results.
Yeah. That's the question that I struggle with when I play this game, right? It has really good parts. Everything about this game is interesting and unique. But is the sum of those parts greater than the parts themselves? That is the dilemma that I'm faced with. This is the Huggle. We're not gonna fight it. It's very cute, though.
But it has hug in the name.
Yeah,
No,
you're
don't
not gonna
worry.
give it a
You'll see
hug?
another. This
If
is
not
our.
friend,
Gotta
why
give it a
friend
hug.
shaped?
This is the gorilla mini boss. There's a few of these. There's a particular point later in the run where I'm gonna point out another one because the way they spawn in kills me every time. But we have to deal with this one because they're guarding this crate that I need to search. The whole reason why I'm in this room is because I need to search this crate. And folks who are into RPG runs might be wondering this question already, is like, how much RNG is there in this game? And the answer is complicated. There's so much RNG in this game, but as regards to the speed run, this box is the major source of RNG. What you get inside this box will determine your pathing during the boat segments. And what I'm hoping to get here is a level 3 engine. there are 15 potential items that I could get from this box. And so my chances are slim. I got something. We'll find out what we get when we actually get into the boat.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm not imagining things, but that had Deadpool game like onomatopoeias, correct?
Yes.
Like char and sizzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure I wasn't imagining.
No,
that.
no, no. You are not hallucinating. And if you were listening closely, the narrator is also chiming in with those sound effects verbally.
Goops, the best this meat. He only knows.
Got it.
All right, this is our Goo Glide. We did not get good RNG. We have our level 1 engine. So this is going to be really interesting. Not only are we going to have to take a slightly longer route through the goo here, which is what we're piloting this Goo Glide through, obviously. It's no longer water for technical reasons. It is goo. There are 3 levels of goo. There's this one, there's one that's green, and then there's one that's green with like visible chunks of algae in it. The level 3 can obviously handle all 3 of those things and thus can take the most direct paths. Welcome to Surf Apelago.
Is it called goo for legal reasons?
Yes, because that's what the toxin all dumped into it.
Ah.
It was something
Like,
else
it's
in the way back
legally
before
not
times.
water.
Yeah, legally it's not water anymore, and it is not safe to drink either. There's a whole storyline with one of the side characters that we'll meet later on, where if you engage in his quest, he will literally be holding his fish in his hands, gasping for air, like, please help me find some actual water for my friend here. And you can go do that, and then he'll send you on the quest to go find the Peewee Gargantua if you satisfy his, like, multiple prolonged quest objectives. Gulp here is an interesting one, this little fancy lad that we just met, because his only side quest is a drinking contest. If you beat him, you get an achievement, though, which is really fun. Now...
Hey, we do things for achievements in this house.
Achievements are always good, even
We're-
when speedrunning.
Entering a place called Gumquack Hollow. What do you think a Gumquack
Here's
is?
hoping this scrap floats.
Okay, I'm channeling my inner One Piece. It's a duck that chews bubblegum.
Okay, okay.
I was gonna say similar.
Okay. I don't think you're too far from the truth. And you will see shortly what a Gumquack is once we do this riveting electricity puzzle.
I am so riveted.
Or a rubber duck. Like a literal rubber duck.
Okay, now you're cooking with gas. Fox, is
I
there
hope it's
any...
not a gas creature.
Is there any predictions on what this might be from chat? Or other things you'd like to share with us?
Ooh, that is definitely interesting. I don't see any predictions from chat, but I would love to see some from chat or in your donation comments. Really would love to see those. Remember, we are raising money in our donations for Blue Pass Service Dogs, which is an organization who trains autism service dogs. So make sure to do that. Just wanted to remind everyone that we have a We Were Here / We Were Here 2 Who Escapes incentive still running. That's a poll. Want to remind everyone, because that run, I believe, is coming up after this one. And while we still have plenty of time in this run, still want to try and see where that bid war takes us.
Thank you very much. And if you guessed rubber duck, you are correct! The Gumquacks are, in fact, rubber ducks.
Are they legally distinct rubber ducks, though?
Well, they're called Gumquacks. So technically, that, I think, is up for the audience to decide.
Ooh, we're gonna have to see what chat thinks.
Good. That's
I love that I was really correct with that.
right.
But also at the same time, I weirdly, is it weird that I feel a little disappointed that it was that mundane?
Welcome to
Same.
BIOMUTANT.
I would have liked a bit more.
This will be fun.
It's a game called BioMutant. Give me more
Sure
BioMutant,
that's going ashore.
not just rubber duck.
Your rubber ducky is the one.
Don't worry, because we're gonna have to get a different, mundane, interestingly named item for every one of our NPCs. So I'm curious if you think
That's
that the
enough
payoff will be
oops.
worth it later on. Here is the soaked one.
After that, he seems says you.
What do we make of that, friend?
I'm still gonna go with the if not friend, my friend shaped.
They look like some form of mammal based on the fur.
Mm-hmm.
But a big one, it kinda otter-shaped as well.
Okay. Well, it's called a porky puff. Does that change your predictions?
It's okay. It's a porcupine mixed with like a blowfish on legs.
That's a strong guess.
I don't know why, but an enchilada. I mean, echidna. Sorry.
It's an enchilada. It's a mutant enchilada.
Okay. The problem is that there is a joke in the Sonic community where we
Knuckles
call him
the
Knuckles
enchilada?
the enchilada, and so.
So this is Porky Puff the mutant enchilada.
I'm sorry. My headset just disconnected for a second. Sorry about that technical difficulty. But yeah, instead of Knuckles, I was thinking, oh, it's an echidna, because like echidnas kind of look like porcupines. And are it could be semi-aquatic. So I was like, oh, it might be an echidna, but then I accidentally said enchilada because I was thinking of the Sonic meme.
Listen, I would give Knuckles an enchilada right now if he asked me for one, but unfortunately I have to go deal with this porky puff first.
I guess we'll see if he's really an enchilada or not.
Viewing it for that split second, it reminded me of in Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of the hunters that tracks down Aang is riding this beast that has like this weird star nose. It's like a mole, and it reminded me of that for a second.
Oh, it does. Now that you mention it, it kind of did have a similar body shape.
Well, here's our first good look at the World Eaters. There are 4 of these. This is the Porky Puff, or as my chat likes to call it, baby.
I am seeing many babies in the chat. I was confused about that.
It's baby.
It's Fuzzy Cerberus.
I wanna pet the baby.
Yes. Porky Puff, my son.
Now, the
Doesn't look
Porky
like
Puff.
baby cares much about the goop.
Yeah, no, the Porky Puff here is one of our main antagonists for the game. The World Eaters are what the game refers to as two-bigs, so you were correct by calling it that. That's literally what the game calls it. And it's nibbling the bark of the Tree of Life, which is this big root that you see coming over the top of everything here.
I didn't know we were playing Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah! Welcome to BIOMUTANT. It is surprisingly dark and deceptively sad. Which is specifically why I turned up the narrator gibberish, because if I understand what he's saying less, it makes me less depressed.
That does sound like almost every post-apocalyptic game I've seen played.
It's true.
Now, you might be wondering why we needed gum quacks, and it's because our little bestie here has a very short attention span, and they need toys to be distracted.
Just for clarity, gum quacks aren't sentient, correct? They are literally just rubber ducks.
They're
correct?
literally rubber ducks.
Okay,
but,
just double checking it. You know what? I thought it was worth a question.
You should keep that question in your back pocket for later, though.
Oh no, we're gonna find out they're sentient the whole time.
Not these, but I did mention we're gonna have to go get some distraction tools for the others.
So we had to distract the baby with rubber duckies.
Exactly.
It literally is Ernie from Sesame Street.
What color, like?
Cookies are so fun.
Squeak, squeak.
Can I get a rubber ducky chain in chat?
I'll help you start that. Oh, I've got an interesting duck.
You're getting a really aggressive Porky Puff here too. And it doesn't help that we have the least upgraded engine in the game right now, so we're slow compared to what we could be doing here. Alright, phase 2. I'm gonna focus a little bit, because this is the hardest fight in the game. Does it still seem like a friend, is the question I would like you to think about.
I mean, You called him baby. He's gotta be a friend.
It's just a little spicy right now. It's hangry.
It needs a snack.
And
The
maybe
snack
some
needs a
dental
rubber
care.
ducky.
Definitely some dental care as well. It reminds me of something now that it's in the ground like this, and I cannot for the life of me think of what it is.
Nope.
Probably something in one of the Castlevania Lords of Darkness, I believe.
Come on, don't die.
I'm trying to remember. This is a New Game Plus run, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us what you have from New Game Plus, just to make this easier, different from a New Game run?
Oh, yeah, there is so much that is different compared to New Game. All the enemies scale up with you. I'm level 50, and so that's why Porky Puff is so stinky, because he levels up with you. I have endgame weapons, endgame armor, fully upgraded weapons and armor. I also have a very large stockpile of healing items, as well as an automaton that will refill and do an instant heal every time I use it. But it does have cooldown, which is why I can't use it right now. Pretty much the only thing that doesn't carry over between New Game and New Game Plus is story-related items. So you have to go get your Goo Glide and your Goo Glide parts every time. Similarly with the Mechton we'll be using later on. And also similarly with the... what's the word they use for it? It's a submarine, but they have a silly word for it.
Alright, I want to see some guesses in chat of what that silly name for a submarine is.
Yeah, if you've got a silly name for a submarine, I want to hear it.
My guess is it will include the word under.
Okay.
It goes under the goop. We have the goop side, right?
Okay.
Why is my mind going to undergoo?
Undergoo.
I don't think it's gonna be undergoo, but that's where my mind's going to.
Well, if you're going under goo, I'm going delta goo. I was going with something.
All right, there's Porky
Undergoo's the
Puffs.
best. I really can't argue with undergoo.
The Sinky Dink,
It
that's a
sounds
place,
so wrong,
though.
but also so right.
If it's not that, I'm out. No.
No, sorry, you can't leave. You must endure the biomutant.
The
Yeah.
only thing that will stop me, and is actually a possibility, is if I lose power because of the storm going over my head right now.
Everyone, please stay safe.
Yeah. You might notice that I was just given the option to offer a seat to Goop here. That's because as part of our multiple branching storylines in this game, one of them involves this arc that Out of Date lives in, and the fact that we need to find 5 friends to put on that arc to send off the planet just in case our plans to save the planet here fail. That's just one of our storylines. Another one involves the tragic backstory of our protagonist, which I'll get into when we confront someone named Lupa Lupin. And then there's a third storyline that involves the Tribor specifically, which is a pretty long section of the game at the end of this run. In the meantime, we have to go talk to Gizmo. Gizmo doesn't live too far from Goop. I'm curious what y'all think Gizmo is, given that Goop was a nice little otter friend.
Ooh, okay. Gizmo. All I can think of is Rescue Rangers.
Okay.
I am. You know what? I'm going all in on chipmunk. A big chipmunk.
Okay.
I'm just saying robot.
A
Some
robot?
form of robot. A robot not shaped like an animal, though.
Okay. What do you think, Fox?
I don't know. I kind of like the robot idea. Let's see. Let me check chat really quick, see if they have any ideas.
Was it Gizmo Duck from DuckTales?
The
What was the robot one?
Oh man, I kind of forgot DuckTales was a thing. That's a memory.
And
We
you
did
now
deal
have
with
the
some-
DuckTales theme stuck in your head.
Legally distinct rubber ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Though I guess those aren't life ducks, which you might run into later.
Gumquack Stories, not DuckTales, Gumquack Stories.
You're grasping the glory that is Biomutant and its incredible naming conventions. Now, Gizmo is a recyclopedian.
It's robot at this point.
It's gotta be a robot with a name like that. But
You know what? I'm gonna go on the outside and say it's not a robot. Because if it was, that would be simple and not absurd and not Biomutant. I think I'm embracing the Biomutant vibe.
Incredible.
But at the same time, Gumquack was just a rubber duck.
so it's gotta be a robot.
Yeah, we're
Gotta be a robot.
Going, they know that I know that they know that I know.
Yeah,
We're playing 6D chess here.
it's
That we
true.
know, that we think we know, but we don't know. We never know.
The one thing I
Only
do know,
BigScared knows.
yeah, is that we're about to go to a place known as the Chug Yard. Are you ready?
Are we gonna chug jug with you?
You know, number one victory royale, I will get down, in fact.
Darkest forest in the land.
Where is
Get
it?
down.
It's hard
No.
to see for all the trees. It's the Chug Yard.
Welcome to the Chug Yard.
Woo! Do we have time for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
We have $25 from. I am so sorry, I'm about to butcher your name. Zrowney. Good luck, Bug. Good luck, Big. I'm so sorry. Good luck. The animals have taken over my brain. Good luck, Big. Very excited for one of the games of all time.
This truly is a game ever. Thank you, Sony.
Yeah, that is going towards the Leaf Blower Man dog DLC upgrade. That was the incentive I mentioned towards the start of the run. To upgrade Leaf Blower Man, this game blows, to have the dog DLC with a little doggy companion. That might make the run a little bit more difficult. But could that be more interesting? That is a $250 goal, and so if I could learn how to do math, that would be beneficial, so I could tell you how much is left. Yes. So that is, we're 225 away from that upgrade. But that is definitely an upgrade you want to hit. That is a very fun run. You know, we all love animals. We love dogs. That's why we're here, right? We're raising money for service. So, you know, gotta give that doggy love.
Thank you so much. We're gonna ride this sprocket real quick to force some entry into the Chug Yard, because even though Gizmo is expecting us, the door's locked, and this is the way we're getting in.
Wow,
That's an entrance.
Took that all the way down to the end.
It's alright, we gotta assert dominance over a door sometimes.
Everything's an entrance
Well-
if you try hard enough.
You did that, and then you also did just mark your territory. I think you asserted your dominance plenty.
Guess they built machines better in the past.
Alright, this is Gizmo! How do we feel?
I need to. Oh, Gizmo, but it carry. He under.
A mole.
Bird?
He says
He's a little
Gizmo-
guy in a hat!
Wait, no.
Just
I don't have.
what is the term you've been saying?
Hard to be
Shrew?
grateful
Something little guy?
that
He's a
Gizmo's
funky little
keep
guy.
Funky little guy. Yes, he is a funky little guy.
Oh my god, it's Gizmo from Banjo-Kazooie. No, it's Bottles from Banjo-Kazooie.
Better take care. He who half breathes.
The little mole that gives Banjo all his powers.
Except he's out here dressed like Lanky Kong.
I don't know if that's an improvement or not.
He has no style.
And
He has no grace. Excuse me for the fire truck going by in the background if you
This
hear that.
funky little guy has a funny face.
He's got a funky face. Now we had to come over here for a rec box. We don't actually need anything in particular from this. We only come over here in order to queue the next mission with Gizmo.
Do notice how serene the loading screen is compared to the wackiness of the game itself.
It is deceptively serene. I have not mentioned this yet this run, but I have a small panic every time I see that loading screen because this game likes to just absolutely shut down. It is known for crashing, and it crashes on load screens. There is one point later on in the run where we do the Tribord missions that I call it out every time because it is at least 1 in 3 runs that the game crashes there. It's incredible. This game
there
is
something to mitigate it, or is it just nope, just
so
RNG?
it is something. It is a particular bug that was added to the console version of the game when they did something to stabilize the PC port. And since the dev cares much more about the Steam version than the console version, they have no intentions of fixing this. It's a known issue and has been since 2022.
How old is this game?
21, 22. They've known since within 6 months of release that this was a problem.
Got it.
This is
No one, the dev or community, have tried to fix it.
It's, you know, it's a console problem, and they are not interested in that necessarily. They're too busy trying to downpatch the game for the PC speedruns. Now, folks who are curious about SRC page for this game will notice very quickly that there's about an hour discrepancy between the PC run and the console run. I currently hold world record for this category, New Game Plus any %. There is a New Game Plus category for PC, but the New Game PC version of this game is a downpatched version. That's like an hour and a half long because they exploit like wrong warps and all sorts of just absolute bugginess that was patched out in the version that broke the console port.
And you can't downpatch the console.
You cannot downpatch the console port to the best of my knowledge.
That is a shame. That you don't have the
Wow.
fastest, but you get to do more gameplay?
Yeah, we are gaming here.
Absolute gaming.
I hope you like QTEs to open this sludge truck.
True gaming of QTEs, yes.
But is there yellow paint? I think I seen some earlier.
There has been some yellow paint.
There's right there.
Look!
All right, you asked earlier about is it sentient? We are here specifically to get a little critter.
Another funky little guy?
A little,
It's the
even
Gunquack Broodmother.
an even littler funky guy. Look at them. These are squips. Where are you? I hear you. Come here, little squip. I need to catch 5 of you. Really? There you are.
Like, it's a red ferret?
It's like a miniature fennec fox of some kind.
Watch those teeth.
Fox?
Those are some
Fox.
interesting. Oh, fuck. Trigger something.
I have been summoned. It is friend.
Yeah, these are absolutely shaped like a friend. But I want you to not get super attached to those.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. We cannot name those squips, unfortunately. They are not meant to be friends.
I'm so
We
sorry.
can still name them if we
How
want
dare
them.
you?
I mean, you could. It will just make you sadder.
So.
Oh. I can't believe you've done this.
I didn't do it. It's
What if I
BioMutant.
already-
Wait a minute. I want to make sure I understand this. Like, let's zoom out a little bit so we can zoom in and get on a true horror of this.
Yeah,
We are giant sentient animals
yeah.
who captured a smaller sentient animal
Yeah.
to use as a distraction that may or may not come back to our inventory.
Yes.
Okay. That's dark.
Yeah.
Don't make me think. Make me look at the cuddly creatures.
Yeah, I want. This game's supposed to break my brain, not make me think.
Yeah. This is the Jumbo Puff, the second World Eater. This is one of my favorite fights. I also want to warn everyone in the audience watching who might be photosensitive that during the second phase of this fight, there is some mild to moderate flashing, because there will be a lightning effect. It could be problematic for you, so if you need to look away until the end of this fight, please do.
Roads like this really
We will give an audio cue when the fight is over.
Yes, we will.
That would be an excellent time to go check out the incentives page, or donate, or share with your friends. I think. It'd be a great time to do it.
Absolutely, we have
Or
so many posts.
where this thing's
Hydrate, stretch. These can be long runs. Check out the incentives. Maybe go look at our charity's website. Go look at bluepath.org. All sorts of fun things you can do during this fight.
Go look
If
at
you need a-
pictures of Thunder.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Probably much better to look at than the screen. Yes.
It's true. Thunder is a good pup.
Do we have commands for all the charity links and donations as well?
Give me 1 second. Let me double check that because I honestly don't know. I assumed because they're usually the same, but I don't know. Let me double check. I should
We
have
have-
that information.
Donate.
I know
sure
we
what
have
other
a
links we have.
donate for our donations, for our Tiltify page. Give me a moment. I'm double.
No. Okay, I'm good. I lived.
There was a moment there. These things went into your mech.
Yeah, I got
Then you screamed.
I got bombarded by those little guys. I don't remember what those specific creatures are called, but if you feed
They're
them to the
funky little
various
guys.
mounts around the map, you can domesticate the mounts with them. Which is how I caught this guy. Please continue telling the audience how they can support Blue Path Surface Dogs.
Absolutely. But they really just not give me a list of commands. I'm so sad.
We have to yell about.
I could just be not scrolling down far enough. I'm so sorry, chat. You would think that as a host, I would have my act together, but it turns out that not even the volunteers here know what's going on and have their acts together.
Who do we have to yell at? Is it you? Is it the organizers?
Would you
Is
like
it
to
the game
see
devs?
something
I don't
cool?
know why would it be the game devs.
Please don't yell at the organizers. We love them. They're the reason that we can be here and raise money for such a wonderful charity, alongside our runners and our volunteers. Everyone is great. No yelling shall occur. Things happen. It could also be that I am incapable of reading.
I take it as we are all content creators and streamers in some form or fashion, and scuff happens.
Okay, I have actually a phrase for this. I've used it basically every marathon that I've been a host. If nothing goes wrong, then it is really a marathon.
It's
true.
I kind of have to agree with that. Yeah.
This is the Jumbo Puff. What do we
Something needs
think?
to happen. They'd be like, oh, remember when such and such happened?
It reminds me of one of the kaiju from Pacific Rim, mixed with the Grim from Ruby. And I have a question.
I might have an answer for
It
you.
kind of does look like the Grim, yeah.
Are all of the World Eater bosses called something Puff?
Yes, all 4 of them are puffs.
Got it. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Is this the lightning portion, or will that be happening?
Next time it comes down off this branch, there will be lightning. So yeah, you should brace for that soon.
Okay, just want to double check.
So if they're all called Puff, why are they Puff? Is that just because they're big? They're puffed up?
So I think it has to do with the fact that they have these vulnerable spots on them. Think Resident Evil Eyeball Boss, but it's not eyeballs. If you noticed on Porky Puff, here's the flashing, it had these very satisfying poppable bits. All of them have something like that. You might be asking yourself, where are they on Jumbo Puff? And that's a really good question. We'll get the answer to that here in a moment.
Someone in chat brought up Tremors, and that is a movie I've not thought about since I watched Dune.
It's very graboid.
Does Tremors make you tremble?
No.
They make me quiver with anticipation.
Okay. Admittedly, when I watched Tremors for the very first time as a child, I lived in the desert, so that movie was actually scary.
Oh no, that's not fun at all.
What a bad feeling.
Now, I mentioned where's the
All
poppable
the way
part.
down to the stomach.
I think the narrator just told us. Yep, I think the narrator did.
And you'll end up with a ride
Ah
down
yes,
the
a Jonah and the Whale, but it's
That's too close to
Jumbo
the
Puff.
Better pumped out than flushed down.
Here it is,
Don't let
the
it
actual
happen
heart
again.
of the thing.
You see, it's
I'm
what's
stuck
on
in the floor?
inside that counts.
Okay.
The Taurus is pumping
It's fine.
the
It,
heart.
it reminds me of that one level in Dante's
Wow,
Inferno.
what a super-sized world.
Wait, guys, we're inside of Jabu Jabu's belly.
Come.
That's it.
That's a better joke. There, that's a better joke
Yeah.
than mine than just Jonah and the Whale. Are we just pulling another mech?
We were pulling what was left of the Jumbo Puff.
Aw,
Ah.
poor Puff.
Yeah.
Sad. I'm
Unfortunately,
gonna go
for the
look at
Tree of
pictures
Life
Thunder now.
to live, we have to dispatch the Jumbo Puffs. I'm
He's
gonna
not
invite
down. He
Gizmo to
just-
join us.
he knows
on-
it's
Is
not
the
Yeah.
sorry, not to interrupt. Is the photosensitivity warning over?
Oh, great
Yes.
call. It is. Thank
He's
you.
been-
Yes,
Okay.
the flashing lights are over. Thank you for reminding us of that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're gonna invite Gizmo onto the Ark, and we're gonna pop by Out of Date again for an update to our main quest. You might be asking yourself, can you skip talking to Out of Date? And the answer is no. You always have to go back and talk to him. The fun thing about Out of Date is in the flashback sequences that you don't have to do on New Game Plus,
Beyond the
which you
watch
do
of
have
the
to do
way
as part of your prologue for a new game. Out of Date in your childhood is a beaver that looks like Elvis, and his name is Best Before. This is him now, as Out of Date, looking like a kung fu guy. And I just think that's neat.
Even though he'll
Has he gone
out of date.
out of
he
date?
knows he-
Mm-hmm.
It also looks like you're boarding the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
It
That's the
does
arc.
look like
He's has plenty.
My contribution is just really obscure references.
Good. You're catching all the references. I'm glad.
we need something to compare this to be like some shred of grounded in reality, but it's not actually reality because it's some other piece of media.
So
But it's
what I'm hearing
familiar.
is, what I'm hearing
we
is
like familiar.
this is biblically accurate biomutant.
Yes.
Or we're trying to lash our minds to be able to describe it, and it just sounds insane.
Yes.
Okay,
Welcome.
just making sure.
I mentioned we have a tragic backstory. Now, Lupa Lupin here is from a tribe of folks that are carnivores. There are not very many of them. They are mostly nomads and isolationists. The reason why we have beef with Lupa Lupin specifically is because he unalived and ate our Muma. You might be asking why he did that. It's because our Muma invented Wung Fu to kill his Muma, because his Muma was eating all of our people. And as you can see, there is a cycle of violence, and we need to, as a moral person, have a stance on that and deal with it. Here he is.
But we do still need to defeat him in some way.
This game has a really
He says
interesting
Yong Pi
approach to
knew
conflict
that's what he marked
resolution.
his hung- but he's let
And
the
it comes
deep
down to
fate
either you persuade them or you fight them. And persuasion is usually just, are you threatening them good enough?
It almost seems like the creatures have got humanity in the fact that they are very reticent to only look out for themselves. Okay, just check.
Now, there are some exceptions here. I mentioned that there's a tribe war later on. Each of them has different sets of ideals. Generally, they boil down to, are they light path tribes or are they dark path tribes? And the difference between that is, do they want to save the world, right? Light path tribes want to save the world, dark path tribes don't, for various reasons. Not all of the dark path tribes are expressly evil. They recognize that, like, the life here has fundamentally, like, polluted it and tarnished it, and they simply believe things like, oh, maybe it wouldn't be a problem if we weren't here doing that, right? Whereas others are terrible from a moral standpoint. They want to like straight up eradicate other tribes and also help the world die faster. Some of the good path tribes are also authoritarian in their in their approach, and they want to like subjugate other tribes as part of their plan to save the world. We're not going to side with any of those people. We're going to side with the one group that believes in solidarity and working together to solve our problems. In the meantime, we have defeated Lupa Lupin. He will be back later. That was a 3-round fight. He's actually the final boss of the game, spoiler alert. And when we fight him again, it will be 6 rounds of combat.
Spoilers.
I know.
Okay, I guess that could be a spoiler, because it doesn't, like, explain details.
No.
We don't know why he's gonna be the final boss.
No. We just gotta confront our trauma eventually. It's fine, don't worry about it.
The name like Lupa Lupin, I mean, you gotta have that character stick around.
Yeah, that's a banger of a
Great
name.
Out of date. He says he out of
I'm
date.
gonna name a D&D character that. I'm just saying.
Out of date CX.
Save that name in the book for later.
Actually, this whole time you said we're something about tribe war,
Yes.
and my brain
Out
keeps
of
going.
date suggests
That is
that
something
it
in
has
D&D, and
been-
I've heard it somewhere, and I cannot think of where, but I know it sounds like something from D&D. If somebody
Magic the Gathering.
It's like Tribe War Trail or something like that. It could be Magic the Gathering. I have no idea about Magic the Gathering.
I do like the idea of the fact that, like, yes, there's light and dark, but it's not actually good and bad. And they're light and dark in different ways.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned earlier
So
that
it
it doesn't
really
really
isn't,
matter which way you lean morally because the narrator will talk crap regardless. That's the reason why. The morality system of this game is very heavy-handed, in my opinion. It can be a little off-putting, especially if it's your first playthrough to experience. But the way that they actually deal with the notion of good and evil, I think is novel and really unique. And it paints this notion of like, are the good quote-unquote people actually good? Do they actually have your best interests in mind? Or are they just the people that claim to be doing the best? Which is a really bold question from a game that looks like this, right?
So I have the theory that games that are somewhat silly, they can actually get away with asking those sort of questions because no one's really
This
expecting a
area
whole lot
is
from them.
bio-contaminated. It's really hazardous.
Did I just hear a cat meow?
I'll say, speaking of if not friend, why friend shaped, here's my cat.
Beautiful.
My cat has decided to come join the commentary.
Now, you might notice this green fog that I'm running through. That's a biohazard contamination area. I mentioned that this is a post-apocalyptic, post-human world. That green zone, unless you have upgraded your character to survive it, will literally kill you to traverse it. You'll get radiation poisoning and your character will simply just die. There is another sort of area of effect that it's bright purple. It's beautiful, but it is also highly radioactive. It will kill you if you go into it quickly and without prejudice. It is startling how quickly the environment can turn hostile in this game. And if you are not prepared either by upgrading your character accordingly to have the right resistance, or by wearing the right armor to have resistance, that can
Thump is the
lose
place
you
to be,
up
obviously.
to 5 minutes of gameplay with the way the checkpoint system works.
Now, with it being New
Devastating
Game
in a
Plus,
run.
In New Game Plus, do you have the armor to mitigate those damages, or do you have to, is it part of the story to go get them?
So, the armor that I have is really good. This is the best armor that I could find in the game. That does not mean it is the best armor in the game. It's just, this game is huge. My helmet alone has a damage reduction of like 60, and my coat has an environmental reduction of up to 80% for hypoxia, which is important because hypoxia is the only environmental status that you cannot upgrade your character to protect against.
This region is known as the Canuckstonies. You can't find
Which
a harder
hypoxia
place
zones
in
are
the
the
world.
like tar fields that we passed through to do the Mechton quest earlier. As far as that, like, you don't necessarily have to use your armor to protect yourself all the time. But I've routed it in to where the armor that I start with protects against the one thing that I don't need to upgrade against. And then the late game armor that I will be forced to wear, because in the Tribor they give you different armor and they swap it out. That one also has hypoxia protection. So I've strategically sort of routed this category in a way where I will never have to worry about that. This is Nako. She's a Ganote groomer. She's also one of 2 NPCs that are expressly coded femme.
Asks how you can't, so like,
Okay.
but let's not. She has
The other
And
one is
most
an
of them are-
astronomer.
It's the most.
They, them, I guess. It,
You know,
not male or feminine.
gender is a thing that doesn't necessarily exist, even though a lot of these critters are sexually dimorphic, right? We have a Muma. In the brief moment we will see Muma at the end of this game, she will have a feminine figure, right? A conventionally humanoid feminine figure. The other NPC that is coded feminine has a conventionally feminine coded figure. Everyone else does not, really. And I find that interesting, and that's why I call this like the funky little guy game, because everyone just kind of looks like a funky little guy.
And even in the post-apocalypse, funky little guys care not for notions of gender.
Love to see it.
This is flat. We're gonna ignore it. Because we have in our proximity a Majut following us. A Majut is
They're
kind of
falling
like
flat.
a Ganote. Yeah, they're following flat. The Majut will be the mount that we're gonna force to ride for the next boss. I like to refer to it as the Azure Chin. Look at him. Look at him.
That is
Glorious.
a strong chin. I did have a question about maybe some tech that maybe is just way too deep for Biomutant.
Mhm.
Whenever you mark your territory, does it automatically take you to that map and you have
Yes.
to exit it? Okay.
Yes. Every time you claim a fast travel position, it opens up the map and you have to exit out of it. I found that if you try to exit out of the map too fast, it causes the game to crash.
Ah, okay.
I've also experienced
This means
an interesting thing that I'm going to try to make happen when we meet an NPC later on named Choo Choo. Where I'm going to try
They're
to...
definitely a train.
There's, you know, I'm going to let you figure that out. But
They've got a big jaw and they're wearing a train conductor hat.
Oh, if they actually had a train conductor hat, I would love that.
I'm so excited for you to meet Choo Choo. But when we meet Choo Choo, I'm going to try to sync it up in a way where it's opening up the map while I'm talking to him. And hopefully it won't crash when it does that. But it does save a little bit of time.
What you see
Now, I just
we
got
get
a
from the mission
bonbon
from
gun.
the machine.
We got who knows how old gum for the Majut, because with a jaw that strong, you gotta give it exercise, right?
The loop is electrified enough to spark.
That's good. Gotta exercise that jaw, keep it well toned.
Next, we're gonna go get the Sit Tight from a different mount known as a Mecha Majut. What do you think that is?
If she,
The Mecha Majut or the Sit Tight?
Both.
Sit Tight's the saddle.
Okay.
I think I can say it for that. The Mecha Majut. Okay.
We've seen other mechs already. I forget if there's something that's specifically with mecha in the name. But it's want to say whatever Majut is enhanced with mechanical parts.
Okay, that's a good guess.
A Majut with steampunk goggles.
Oh, that's so good.
Because being a robot Majut seems way too simple for this game. And again,
Okay.
I'm ready to be wrong, and I will be very happy to be wrong.
Okay. Mecha Majut was my favorite mount before I got the one that I'm riding now. It is very fast, but the handling on it is not good. It likes to fall over, and its recovery animation is long. So that's why I don't use the Mecha Majut anymore, as far as, like, the rides that I the mounts that I prefer to ride. We will be forced to use the Mechamajut for at least this next leg of the run. So you'll see it in motion. Hopefully it won't get knocked over because that would just be devastating. But in the meantime, I'm gonna run up this hill and Yoshi this little guy. Just for the fun of it.
I'm not the only one who hears the word Mechamajut and think that belongs in the Dune universe.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, just checking.
The name definitely sounds like that. Or 07 for the Yoshi.
Smilo shop.
They're totally not a Yoshi.
Guess shopping here put
I'm
a
stuck on a
smile
ledge.
his face.
No, it's fine. I'm in.
Good platforming.
Like this are few and far between.
Just biomutant things. Don't worry
However,
about it.
that's no great loss.
Now, is this
Talking
little
big
guy
just
gonna
from
want to
the
fight me, or am I gonna
lack
get
the
over here and
message.
touch the thing before he... Nope, he wants to fight.
Tapped hard.
Now, if you get locked into combat, you cannot interact with any of the interactables. Which is why I'm doing this.
They look like the Grimalkin
You
from
need to
Monster
line
Hunter
up the
World.
switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count.
So right!
Good.
Again, here for it. I'm still here for it. I love the Grimalkin.
Alright, we're about to meet the Mechamajut. If you had robot horse on your bingo card, you were correct.
It is an actual robot.
It is a literal
Gizmo's
robot
not a
horse.
robot.
The sit tight is.
Mechamajut
This
is.
thing has a mind of its own.
It's the divine beast from Zelda Breath of the Wild.
It really is.
All the games. It is all the games. You don't need to own any other video game. You just need to own Biomutant, and you have all of the games.
It's true. Why would you own any other game when this one exists?
Okay, I want to ask the question: Is the main character a platypus?
No, that's the hat I'm wearing. My little
Oh,
funky
okay.
guy is... he kind of looks like a squirrel. He canonically wears an eye patch because he is disabled. Lupa Lupin took one of our eyes when we were young as a reminder to not mess with him, which of course means we're gonna mess with him.
Unnatural.
We already have Mass with him.
But yeah, we're like a little rodent.
I would say the
This
box
place is
art made
called
it look like if Rocket Raccoon met the Meowscular chef.
Yeah, so folks who are familiar with the box art might have a
With the work
particular
figures
vision
that
for
you
what our
fabric,
protagonist looks
no
like.
matter wonders
The
of
cool
figures
thing about
itself,
this game is
whatever
if you're making a
says you
fresh
praise, he
character,
says he could
there
be
are
a
so many
super
sliders and you can make your funky little guy kind of look like whatever shade of rodent you want. You want a rodent with a tiny head and a massively long neck? You can have that. You want a rodent with green zebra stripes and buck teeth and an extra wide round head? You can have that. Do you want the smallest little guy? The smallest little guy. You can have that. I made mine to be like a schmedium. I wanted him to be small, but also kind of not too small. And I went for something that was generally cute. I loosely modeled him after my cat. But of course, because we're not a feline, he don't look like a cat.
Fair.
Are we ever gonna see what your funky little guy looks like under all the armor?
Don't lose
Yes,
your
when
way
we
in
are
the
forced to change our armor, we will be wearing a hat that will show off its face.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing the funky little guy.
Now, on your
Same.
bingo card of things to expect in this game, did you have slacklining?
I did not have slacklining. Let's put it that way.
Good, because I hope you like slacklining.
Clearly, I should have made a bingo
Excellent
card
balance.
for this. Well, I was told to
Same.
expect nothing, so
Just throw any old random nouns up there. Slacklining, it's on the board.
One of the NPCs who we're not going to see on the run because they're way out of the way and they don't do anything for us pragmatically is named Pickle. Pickle has a side quest that requires you to basically do a lot of slacklining and rappelling on zip lines. It's a very fun side quest and it rewards you with the glider mount. that is a literal bat. Very cool side quest, but it's just literally just go climb a mountain and slackline across it. It's beautiful. 10 out of 10.
Is Pickle some form of reptilian with spikes on their chin?
No, Pickle is very tall, very like marmot-like, and has buck teeth.
So they're not a Devil Joe.
No, not even in the slightest.
That's a shame.
I know, missed opportunity. Are you ready to ride the Azure Chin?
She wants you.
Because we have to
This
fight the
reminds me of
Hoof
something.
Puff.
The hoof puff she meets. So
It reminds me of like some meme, and I cannot think of what. Might have been a Monsters Inc. monster. It's got that giant chin. Chat, help me out. I'm thinking it reminds me of something, and it's not there.
As you've been saying, we're trying to root in something familiar. There's something familiar about everything, but also not familiar. What is it about this game?
This game has the energy of a fever dream you had and barely remember, but as you re-experience it, it comes back to you with increasing horror every time you recount it. I love this game.
So the big question is, would you recommend that people play this game?
Ooh, I think that people who enjoy open world games with a heavy focus on exploration and a dynamic Devil May Cry-esque combat system would probably love this game. I also think broadly furries would love this game.
I feel called out.
I've kind of been thinking that.
Yeah, I feel
Post-apocalyptic
broadly
with all these
furries love this game.
creatures.
I feel like I'm learning something about myself right now.
I also
I
feel
felt
like
really called out.
there's something about this game that speaks to people that enjoy franchises like Kingdom Hearts that are very whimsical and a little baffling.
I can see.
I've experienced Kingdom Hearts. Also, so far this has been a bit more baffling because it's more self-contained.
There's the baby.
Yeah,
There's
it's
another
a little
baby.
more self-contained than Kingdom Hearts, which
Yeah.
pulls in basically every character known to mankind.
But
Yeah.
listen, I would like to play 37 different games on 37 different consoles,
Yeah.
and a card game and a manga, just to understand why
Would
is
you
Donald
also
Duck
like to
really
play?
cool?
Yeah, yeah, on all these different consoles, and also, would you like to play this game that hasn't seen a new release since 2006?
Truly.
It's a very yes, I don't think so. I get that reference.
They don't even release the games anymore. They just give you the 5-hour YouTube videos of cinematics only.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the official releases. Oh, you just pulled a tooth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hoof Puff here is one of the hardest fights in the game. I waffle back and forth whether this one is harder than Porky Puff. Porky Puff is challenging just because it's so early in the game that like it is something to endure every time you go through it. Hoof Puff is brutal just because it has a wide variety of attacks, and each phase of the fight is so different from the one before it. So this first phase is mostly running around, dealing with the poppables. I'm gonna try and save some teeth for the third phase of this fight because I will need them.
You gotta pop the puffs.
You gotta pop the puff, just like all that bubble wrap that we love so much.
Also, want to say, first I seen in the chat is Crimson Chin from Fairly Odd Parents. That is what your mount reminds me of.
Yes.
Big shout out to Broken But Alive. I am doing a run with them on Saturday, and that was the exact thing I was thinking of.
Yeah, we love supporting our other runners. Definitely not me being biased because my run is on Friday night. please come see that. I also have an incentive, but it's not open yet. So you should donate towards the other incentives that we do have open, so then you can see my incentive.
Tell us about the incentives. And if there's anything else, go for it. We got a few minutes while I fight this little buddy.
Oh, poor buddy. But yes, we have plenty of amazing incentives for you to donate towards. Let's look really quick. If I could learn how to read, that would be excellent. Ah, here we go. We have a couple of things. In terms, here we go. In terms of the targets, we have the Golf It Custom Map Showcase, which we're pretty close to meeting. We are at $202 of $250 needed. So $48 left on that one. Really interesting. I've seen Golf It already. It is a game of all time as well. That one's a really fun run. That definitely don't want to miss that Golf It run. There's also the Leaf Blower Man DLC dog upgrade that I mentioned before. We're supporting a service dog charity. We need more dogs in our lives. Therefore, dog DLC. It's also a really fun game, and if you like the just brain melting that is currently occurring in the whimsy of this game, you're gonna love that game too. We also have a couple of bid wars open. We have the We Were Here / We Were Here 2 Who Escapes bid war. Currently, the Librarian is in the lead with $150, with the Explorer trailing behind at $135.39. That is a really specific amount. But that is probably going to be closing here sometime soon because that run is coming up next. So, if you want to change the tides of that bid war, now is definitely the time to donate towards it. Of course, we have a couple of other polls. We have the Legend of Zelda Sprite Choice, with right now Wizrobe in the lead with $210, followed by Zelda for $35, and nothing towards the Gipto or Link right now. Poor Link, he doesn't deserve this. They don't deserve this treatment. We don't know Link's pronouns. Let's see. I think we have one more. Yes. We also have Sticky Business, shop name, 25 characters long. You get to choose a shop name. Current. We will have the name in the donation comments. Let me see. Do I have those? Might be able to see which name is currently. I don't see it. Anyway, but of course, you get to choose a shop name up to 25 characters. So, you should really do that. That sounds fun. Sticky Business is great. All these runs are great. All these runs are amazing. Definitely stick around. We have plenty of amazing runs for you coming up through the rest of the event.
Now, just as a question, when people donate towards those incentives, that also does go towards the Seeing Thunder tomorrow, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I want to see that dog.
I know, okay. So, I'm going to admit, I'm a bad host, and therefore did not do my research ahead of time. This is also my first time at Multithon, so I don't know a lot of the Thunder lore. So,
There's some great lore.
I am very unaware of the Thunder lore, and I know that as soon as I'm done with my hosting shift, I'm gonna have like 3 different staff members giving me the whole lore rundown, probably with a PowerPoint presentation.
This is bad. This is so bad.
Video.
This is so bad.
I need a lore video, exactly.
I'm getting bullied so hard.
Last year, so I could give you the Thunder lore if you'd like.
Yeah, we need the Summoning Salt music video. We need all of that, okay? We just can't just give us the lore. We gotta have a 6-hour
You don't
lore
want the
video.
lore then? Should I hold on the lore?
Hold on the lore, hold on the lore.
Hold the lore? Okay.
Hold the
Wait
lore.
for that. Wait for the lore for the interview tomorrow then. Okay.
Yeah, hold the lore for the interview tomorrow. That's gonna be fun. Definitely want to stick around for that. Of course, all of the great things. I mean, completely putting to the side the fact that this is for a great cause and a great charity, Blue Pass Service Dogs. We like dogs. They're cute. Look at all the fuzzy little guys here. Don't you want to see little fuzzy little guys in real life, i.e. dogs? Yeah, you do. I know you do. I know we're all gamers who are probably a little, sometimes can get a little lonely. We love our fuzzy little guys. And then bring back in the fact that we are supporting an amazing charity and the amazing work that they do and the great service that they provide to their clients. It's just wonderful all around.
I was telling my kiddo, hey, that I was going to be part of a marathon this weekend for raising money for service animals. And she's like, that's so cool. And I'm sitting there going, I am excited for this. And my child's excitement for this is making me even more excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I got really excited when I saw that because I'm actually personally looking for a service dog right now for myself. In my research, I realized how little.
This is so bad.
How much money it actually takes to train one of these dogs. It takes anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000. So we're doing great work here.
Oh
That gasp is both for the price.
And you have to do from
and
the start, or
what's happening in the game?
okay, good. So we had a quote unquote game over, but we don't.
Yeah, I was trying to focus on this last phase because this last phase is really hard.
I'm so sorry. I should have stopped talking.
And that ranged attack just caused us a death. But that's okay. We just start this particular phase over. It's time lost, but it's hoof puff things.
Hashtag
So fuzzy. See, he just wants it. He just wants a belly rub. Give your friends belly rubs.
I don't know how much Hoof Puff would let us give them belly rubs.
No, they're a very
Considering
angry
what they've
baby.
been doing throughout this fight.
Well, given how easy their teeth are being pulled out, I think it has to do with dental pain.
Oh, that's not ease at all. That's the pure strength of the Majut, baby.
Fair
I love how you pull the tooth out and it hits you directly in the face.
Yep.
Quick note, I forgot to mention when we were talking about incentives earlier. When you donate towards an incentive, you can donate for both a target and a pole with the same donation. So it makes your donation go a little bit farther. For example, if you wanted to donate towards that Golf It custom map showcase, that amount could also go towards any of our polls, including the We Were Here 2 incentive, for example. So, just another little tidbit of little extra incentive to donate towards the incentives.
So all these popping noises the game are getting to me.
Luckily,
It,
we're
like,
almost
doesn't
done.
fit.
Yeah, it's very... It's a choice.
The
And there's
devs
Hoof
made a
Puff.
decision, and we have to live with it.
They sure did. But we're free.
Well, there you go. Good job taking down Hoof Puff.
Hoof Puff was
Hoof
rude.
Puff, yes. Horde Hoof Puff. Say that 5 times fast.
We're gonna invite Nako to join us on the arc here, and then we must embark on the tribe war, because if we go back to out of date, he basically shrugs at us and is like, I don't know, what do you want to do? So we have to go solve that problem so that way he can start giving us quests again. Now, you might be wondering, do the characters have any agency? And the answer to that is yes. Depending on how I approach them, depending on how I talk to them, they can choose not to show up at the end of the game, even though they've been given the invitation and expressed interest. So how I play this Tribe War segment is actually really important. It's why I choose the group that is very focused with solidarity, because if I were to invite the 5 NPCs that I chose to invite, and then allied with an evil tribe, quote unquote, half of them would simply not show up at the end of the game, and that would be a bad end. We wouldn't be able to finish, because you need people to go on the arc at the end. I also mentioned that there's a specific door that I like to point out as a point where the game crashes a lot. The door we're running to at the top of the hill is that door. So, place your bets now. Do we think it's gonna crash?
based on what you said, for the marathon's sake, I'm gonna say no crash.
Okay.
For the sake of the marathon,
Okay.
I would like there to be no crash.
We're gonna manifest no crashing. I love that.
I agree with that.
The Ankati fortress. Says
right.
they're wet. They don't just let...
Let me in. And we're in! This is our Sifu.
We've successfully manifested no crash.
Yes. The marathon is safe. Now,
From
The
crashing.
Ankati
Not from the
believe that solidarity
whatever Biomutant is.
you're
keep
never
the
safe
world
from
in
Biomutant.
balance.
Just the
They're
crashing right now.
steadfast in their conviction
The narrator
that
is the only
tribes
voice actor in
can
this game
move
that
forward
speaks
together as
whatever
one.
language you set the game to. You might notice that our Sifu here did have voice lines. There's a wide variety of voice actors for this game, but they all speak whatever that language is. And so we don't actually know what they're saying. We simply have whatever the translation is given to us, and we have to trust that the translation is accurate. I bring this up because the narrator is actually a character in this game. You may or may not have noticed a small cricket hopping off of our shoulder when we talk to people. That is our narrator. It is the automaton. It is also the thing that will give us an instant heal in battle.
The only way you'll learn their secrets
it's like a Gemini cricket?
Yep.
Now is if you defeat
We
it.
have a
And
post-apocalyptic
that will
Gemini
never
cricket,
happen.
Yep.
which
You both
also helps
have
explain the
tells
fact
you
of the
once
morality
you-
system in this game.
With a great voice.
It's a wonderful voice.
Also, sorry about that. I spilled a whole bunch of water on myself and had to get cleaned up.
Don't hydrate too much. It's not like are you trying to turn into the soaked one?
Oof. Not that bad. Yes, hydration is important.
Yes. So we've allied with the Ankati tribe. The Ankati believe in solidarity and working together to solve our problems.
It's a
The
right,
first
not a
group we're
threat,
gonna go beef with. So the tribe war plays out in a variety of ways, but there are two essential portions. There's your primary beef, and then there's your secondary beef. Those are my words, not the game's words. If you choose, at the end of your second leg of the tribe war, you can continue to actually go around to all 7 tribes and fight all of them and manually take them over. Or you can just end the conflict early and get the cutscene to progress. That's what we're going to be doing. The first group we're beefing with is the Pichu tribe. They are unambiguously dark aligned. They believe that the world should end and that they should help expedite the process. And they want to start with the other tribes. Unfortunately, they are the Trans Pride Colors team. And so, of course, I have to beat them up and take their outfits because I don't like their attitude.
It's definitely a bad stance to have for trans pride of kill everyone and everything.
It doesn't pass the vibe check, so we gotta go reclaim our symbols of power for ourselves, you know?
Absolutely. Reclaim what is rightfully ours, I guess.
Yes.
You are?
Now, these segments have a couple submissions. One of them is usually a dialogue exchange that can end peacefully or with violence, depending on how much influence you have with the person you're trying to talk to. There is a sabotage mission, and then there is a full-out invasion mission in every section that you do. It'll culminate with an encounter with the Sifu of the rival tribe, at which point you can potentially persuade them to just give up. If that fails, you will have to fight them. I bring this up now because the morality choices you make go into a hidden statistic that will inform how these other tribes react to you. And so there are situations where some persuasion options are more powerful than others, even though they don't have the same long-term repercussions. What I mean by that is sometimes you can sacrifice 1 point in your dexterity, or your strength, or your charisma in exchange for a dialogue prompt to work. But that will permanently debuff you for the rest of your run and all of your subsequent runs because you literally lose levels that way.
And there's entirely no way to recover it.
You could grind and potentially regain that experience that you're losing by choosing that option, but the max level for the game is 99, and you can lose stats all the way down to 0, potentially, depending on how many times you opt that way.
What happens if you hit 0?
I don't know, I've never been there. I'm sure
It'd be
nothing good.
interesting to see a state of
Says they've just keep the
a
says that
0 character after so many runs.
The inner speedrunner in me goes, yo, so what if you hit 0? Great. What if you take it lower? Does that overflow it to 255?
no.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh. The question of overflow is always a big one.
get in there.
That,
Do
I
we
think,
have time for a quick donation?
absolutely.
We have $15 from Broken But Alive. The Biomutant run has been extremely entertaining, and I'm glad to experience it for the first time, alongside the commentators. That is going towards We Were Here, / We Were Here 2, the Who Escapes incentive polls, and the Golf It Custom Map Showcase. We also have a $10 donation from your Sifu. Thank you. Your tribe is growing stronger.
That's a good one. Thank you for that.
So, that particular dono, thank you to whoever sent that in, because you have obviously seen me run this game before. That is a line of dialogue that we will hear 6 times. Because every time you overthrow an outpost, your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. And then the other one is like, he says you won't defeat them, but he won't give up. And it's the most repetitive thing in this game, and it brings me
That
joy
is
every time.
Funny. That's also going towards the Golf It Showcase. So for quick updates on those incentives, we are at $227 of $250 on that Golf It Custom Map Showcase. We are really close to meeting that incentives. I know you can do it, chat. Push for the finish. And for the We Were Here / We Were Here 2 Who Escapes, that is with $150 for the Librarian and $150.39 for the Explorer. The Explorer is winning by a crispy 39 cents. So, really close there. Chat, I want to see where this goes. This could get really interesting really fast. Remember, just $1 could completely change the tide of this bid war. Really want to see you all go after it. See who gets to escape in We Were Here / We Were Here 2.
Give up.
Here it comes.
Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Sifu.
For the We Were Here incentive, do we know which person is playing which character to see if that might
Says you
influence
did a
people
great thing
to
as the-
donate one way or the other?
Ooh, okay, this is actually a good point. Give me one moment because I do have that information. I am actually friends with both of these runners, so this could be incredibly funny, incredibly quickly. Give me one moment. I believe... Let's see...
It looks like they're saying we don't know actually who was who.
We don't?
I love that for them.
That's what
That's
I'm
great.
seeing in the chat. In the
Oh, okay, we don't
live
know. We're being
chat.
told that we are being told that we don't know and we can't tell. Right.
You're in charge of that mount. Act
Well, I'd
So,
love...
You know what? How about this, chat? How about y'all just figure it out? Y'all have access to the schedule. I believe it's exclaimed schedule in the chat if you would like to look. I believe the runner names are listed there. That run is being done by Osborne and Selkoothmine. So I don't know. Come up with it yourselves. Have fun with it. It's a game.
Oh, we gotta fight the
What?
Pijami! He didn't like my persuasion!
Oh, it is a monster of pajamas. I don't know if I love or hate that.
I
love it.
honestly wish there was a stuffy of this bestie because they're my favorite of the random things to fight in this game. The Pijami brings
You
me
can
joy.
make stuffed creatures out of so many different things in this game.
So I was just sitting here thinking, can we talk about how it went from sort of peaceful and like
The outpost.
mostly just random NPCs here and there to trenches, sandbags, and
He
barbed
says
wire, and
you
it went,
made them weaker,
oh,
but they won't give up.
that's pretty,
Your Sifu
that
thinks
escalated pretty
Your
quickly.
tribe is
Yeah,
growing stronger.
They were not joking when they said
Your
war.
Sifu thanks you.
Your tribe is growing stronger.
You
I've
were
heard
curious
that
what we look
somewhere.
like? Here's our funky little guy. There's our face. We're cute.
That's
It
a
looks
nice
like
face
Rocket
you got there.
Believes
Rocket Raccoon joins the rugby team.
Yes! That door had to think for a minute.
There's news of a Ronin.
Sir, I was not talking to you, but thank you.
Does it always warp you back to your home base?
No, it will
Okay.
warp you to whatever room your Sifu is chilling in at the end of it, which is usually the room at the very back.
Got it.
Majut, where are you? I hear you.
So the Sifu and others just
Supposedly,
leaves
mountains
the tribe
are
land they were
smell
in
fear.
and moves into this new land you're taking over.
Yeah, they literally say, "This is my house now," and they put their feet up exactly where they're standing.
That's there's definitely not the best strategy to that.
No, it's not.
No.
And it's not
I
a
need to
permanent strategy
upgrade your
either because they do this literally
This is
every
high
time they get a new
And
base.
there's an upgrade bench floating
So
up
if
there.
you were to fight all 7 tribes, your Sifu would get a new office every time.
So
Wow.
that's a 4 sequence of your Sifu thinks your tribe is getting stronger would happen 28
That's a
times?
bang
Minimum,
plant
yeah.
Where toxinol used to make all
And you're-
sorts
this
of
is- how many
explosions
tribes total
before
are there?
it
7?
blew up in their
7,
faces.
plus the initial sequence, so that would be 32, I think, total.
Wow. That's a lot.
So needless to say, we
Your
only do
tribe
it the
is
2
getting
times.
stronger.
We're
Your
only going
Sifu
to do it
thanks
2
you.
times.
Does he leave people in the old base, or do they just pick up and go to the new base?
So if you go back to the Ankari base after you've taken over,
the Bener.
your Sifu will just be chilling.
Says it's not
Somehow
freedom,
your
it-
Sifu is omnipresent. They will be wherever they need you to
Here's
be.
the first line of defense.
Got it. Your Sifu's Gandalf. Got it.
Yes, yes.
Classic RPG moment of they are where they need to be.
They
to
are
be
where they
you
need
are.
to be. Yes.
And where they need to be is wherever you are.
We've got a Pew Pew Machina here in the wall. After this wave of enemies, we're gonna destroy it.
So they're the Albed from Final Fantasy X. Machina.
No more bullets from
Did it just blow up? There wasn't really a animation for it. It just. Well, I know you skipped it, but still, it's like it's there, then it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to see.
It's time to find a way out of this place.
I love the tonal dissonance between the fast-paced, input-heavy combat and these tedious, like, rotation puzzles. I'm very curious what inspired them to make that choice.
The answer, yes.
Yes. And fun
Should we have
fact,
rotation puzzles? Yes.
there are some rotation puzzles in this game that spawn in positions that are
Stay away till you take
unsolvable.
that thing out.
It will
Safe to
simply
get
take
in.
too many turns to solve it, and so you have to just take the L and reset the puzzle.
So the puzzles are randomized every time.
A lot of them are. The rotation ones are. The wire one is the same every time, though.
I didn't see Biomutant randomized in the schedule.
Are we having another randomizer? We've got so many already.
Can you imagine an Oops All Porky Puff run?
Where all the world eaters are just Porky Puff.
No, where everything
And
is
all
Porky
the
Puff.
enemies are just smaller Porky Puffs.
Yes.
Literally, oops, all Porky Puff.
We can call it the Stay Puffed run.
Stay Puff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Oh.
The second
Ow.
line of defense.
Do we have time for a quick donation or two?
Yes, of course.
Okay, we have $5 from Anonymous. Your Shifu thinks. I'm so
You can't just hit us with that without warning.
Candle
I mean, you did give us a warning, but
Right,
still.
that's rocket.
that is going towards the Golfit custom map showcase and the Zelda poll.
Almost there.
We also have a donation from Happy by a 30 for $5. The tribe is growing stronger. Your Shifu thanks you.
Outpost.
Read it in a monotone voice or it doesn't hit as hard.
He says you made them weaker, but they won't
We've
give
truly
up.
started
Okay,
something.
everybody
Oh, wait, hold
together.
on.
Everybody. Your Sifu thinks you.
Your
Sifu.
tribe is growing
Tribe is growing
stronger.
Thinks you did it. They all
Next time we harmonize.
Oh, I'm
That
crying.
is also that is also going towards the sticky business. Name the shop incentive. What's brown and sticky?
A stick?
Yes.
I hope it's a stick.
I do too. I think it's also important that I point out. Happy is the lead organizer of this organization.
Yes.
Multithon. What a lovely name from them. Thank you, organizers. We wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, speaking of, since we just got updates on incentives, we are really close to meeting that Golfit custom map showcase. We are at $237 of $250. And for the update on that Zelda poll for that Sprite choice, we are at $210 in the lead with Wizrobe, followed by $40 with Zelda, and $0 for Link and $0 for the Gipto. We still have plenty of time to donate towards those polls and target incentives, so make sure to get your donations in. You can do exclaim donate in the chat to get the link for our Tiltify link. Remember, all of your donations are going towards the Blue Pass Service Dogs, our wonderful charity, and that if you can, your donation can go towards both a target and a poll, so it just makes it go that little bit longer. And I have been told that if we raise $500 more, we will get to see Thunder in the afternoon interview tomorrow.
The baby.
Yes, the baby.
Another funky little guy.
Yes, another funky little guy. Thank you. So definitely get your donations in for that. You will not want to miss that one.
I do want to know, it is nice that whenever we mark our territory, the camera specifically turns around. So we don't see the actual act happening, but we still see the results.
Yeah, it's tastefully censored.
Very tasteful. As tasteful as that act can be.
So, folks with a keen eye will notice that I was running towards a very large man, and I abruptly made a right turn. The reason why is that very large man is known as the Mirage. The Mirage is a mechanism by which you are forced to interact with your tragic backstory, and that loses you time. Not only in tediousness and unnecessary things, but in the slow camera pan into that man's face. I'm going to try my best to avoid him throughout the run now that he started to show up, but you can potentially interact with the Mirage 5 or 6 times in a playthrough, and if you complete the task that they set before you, they will reward you with upgrades for your automaton. It'll do things like have a cannon that'll aid you in battle. That's the little green bullets that you see flipping around when I'm fighting things. It'll also do an auto heal if you are near death and it has a heal in its pocket. It also does things like damage boosting and damage reduction. The automaton is really cool. I just profoundly do not like its side quest. This side quest, though, very fun. We're gonna go get a bang ball filled with boom powder. What do you think a bang ball is?
It's just an Acme bomb. It literally has Acme written on the side. Wile E. Coyote style.
I can think of nothing better. Boom powder is clearly gunpowder, so a bang ball has got to be an Acme bomb.
Okay.
It just fits with the whole setting.
Yeah. Do we have time for a couple more donations?
Yes. Yes, we do.
We have $10 from J Doggy for the BioMutant Summoner Sale, campaigning equipment like tannins, glassol tannaminners, Marcia Shamanella and Rusted Shamatos, Sweepy Bagugos, Sportorting Good Lillingtons, Bashkokokons, Slam Slam,
time to
Doki
you need to-
Dokies, love you, big, go fast, stay awesome. I cannot believe I just read
That was one of the reads of all time, and one of the donations of all time.
I have tears in my eyes right now.
I saw that and I was just like, how am I supposed to read this?
The mega
Thank you for the
You
HH Greg
certainly
spam.
did.
That was beautiful.
That is going towards the We Were Here / We Were Here to Who Escapes poll. We also have $13 from Derek GNC.
It's quiet.
Your Shifu thanks you.
Away
Your
from
tribe
the
is growing
stars.
stronger.
Hold on, let me-
If the
Now I-
call
now I
is
feel
coming from
obligated
inside
to
the
as well.
couch.
The donations are coming from inside the couch. Exactly.
Ooh, I'm in your walls.
Oh no!
So you're noticing that rather than actually fight these enemies, I'm using telekinesis to yeet them off a cliff.
As you would.
It's significantly faster to not fight them, but it sucks that these ones are stuck down there because now I'm gonna have to dispatch them.
It
Also,
really is the
goal
Dark
has
Souls
been
boss.
met.
Let's go.
There's a cat at the exact same time. The
It's
cat
fine.
agrees. Meet those incentives, y'all. Librarian is also in the lead on the We Were Here / We Were Here 2 Who Escapes poll. That is $160 ahead of the $150.39 for the Explorer. And also the Zelda Sprite Choice Gibdo is now in the running with $13. So, fantastic, exciting updates on all of those
The
incentives.
wire claw.
Remember,
But
you can
just need
donate to
aim
any of
straight,
our
shoot
wonderful
and pull, and the
incentives.
gate will come
For
down.
Tiltify,
The
you can
pig
donate
he
towards
didn't
the
expect.
poll,
He needs a
and
logical
a bid
reason
war
to surrender. He
makes your
reckon-
donation just go
Anybody
that
home?
little bit
The
farther.
rivals you are
I'm
for
starting
you.
the Gibdo
Thinks
train.
it's a- and with that
Nice.
size
See if we
We're,
can get
we're
Gibdo
trying to
catch
get
up.
Gibdo.
wants you to
Yeah,
focus.
you give the
Gib-
catch up.
These are the new rival outposts.
Look,
The tribe needs
We
to take
stand
control.
mummies. Just saying.
I don't know. Do I want to get on this Gibdo trainer? I kind of want to keep the this We Were Here poll
He says
neck
you'll
and neck.
regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their
Decision-
secrets,
decisions.
Wong
I'm trying to-
Fu and the tribe weapon
Under
now,
the influence.
is if you defeat him. And that will never happen.
So now we have
Your
new beef.
Sifu is
We have
pleased.
defeated the Pichu
Or at
tribe.
least you can. He
Their
says you
oppression will
know
no
that
longer
the
be a
fatal-
problem. Now we have to go fight the Myriad tribe. If you play this game casually on your first playthrough, the Myriad tribe is one of two that the narrator will sort of push you towards because it's one of the closest ones to the Tree of Life. The Myriad tribe, from a lore standpoint, is a good aligned, they're a white path tribe, but they're more morally gray. They have an authoritarian approach. They believe in eliminating their enemies, and so we're here to send a message that Solidarity has no room for that in its agenda. We have to put them in their place, basically. Once we've dealt with both the Pichu tribe and the Myriad tribe, the rest of them will essentially go, "You're too strong," and they will tap out completely if we choose to no longer pursue the conflict. I do want to point out, though, we're at Domp Outpost. How do we feel about that name?
I kind of
Domp?
like it.
Stomp.
It's damp, but it's Domp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a muddy
It
stuff.
can't be damp because it's not legally water. It's damp
True.
because it's goo.
It's goop. It's goop. It's not water. It's Domp.
It's the surfy
He
goo.
says you made them weaker, but they won't
All
give
together,
up.
everybody?
Your
Your
seafood
Sifu thanks
Your
you.
Sifu thanks
Your
you.
tribe
Your
is
tribe
growing
is
growing
stronger.
stronger.
He says you did a, says you
All right, next time the key of E.
These reeds are gonna break me.
Okay.
So now
I
our
don't
Sifu
think
is here.
I've never had a marathon yet that just went, yes, let's make the host suffer.
Okay, next time we all do it in a Yoda voice, right?
How would Yoda read that though?
Thank you. Your
Thank
seafood.
you, your Sifu does. Your tribe's stronger and growing.
Amazing.
Oh!
I'm not sure I can replicate that exactly, but I will try.
That
Look,
was amazing.
there are a few voices that I can do. Shaggy, Yoda, and the Doom narrator.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
I feel like we need an incentive to have you read a dono.
this patch of dirt. What a waste.
Where's that one that you read earlier? Where's the one that you read earlier that I was sitting there going, I don't know what was just said.
I
My
was looking
brain
at
stopped.
it on the page. It is
Okay.
really a donation.
I'm gonna message the producer and ask, can we have like a quick poll to have the commentator read the dono that I read earlier that just broke me?
It's just there to read if anyone wants to.
Says they've just
It is.
says Scout figures the
Yeah, it's a donation.
Okay, so while we get that answer, this is a sabotage mission. Our last one involved twisting some knobs to put goo in their water supply. This one is simply punch moth nests.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing some sabotage.
Yeah.
And we always have funky little boys. But are we going to have the bestie boys?
Ooh. Hopefully at the end of this, the bestie boys will be in our arc.
Yes.
Hopefully. If our mission to gain friends and no longer alienate people is successful, we will have besties in our arc.
It's nothing but sabotage. I can't stand it.
Well, I'm gonna set it straight. This is a gate.
I love that you punch it so hard you recoil backwards.
So the weapon I'm using right now is the only weapon in the game that is classified as a tool before an actual weapon type. This is the Clonk Fist, and it is meant specifically to break things down. You can also use it as a melee weapon, but it is not very good. It only does like 300 damage output. Compared to the sword that I'm wielding that does up to 1500, it is much more strategic not to use the Clonk Fist as a weapon.
Your Sifu thanks
Sifu
thanks
thanks
you.
Your
Your
tribe
tribe
is
is
growing
growing
stronger.
Just to back a little bit.
Says you
How do you spell Clonk Fist?
Clonk Fist with a K.
God, I just wanted to make sure I had that correct.
Yeah, Clonk Fist. Alright, is
The
my mount
trees
still here? It is
arc
not.
toward the
So we're
water.
gonna go out here outside of the foxhole and then we're gonna summon it.
So you found my house.
I did. Thank you for inviting us over on this, our beloved Multithon.
You're welcome.
Now, this is one of my favorite areas to sort of casually go through. I think this area is beautiful. Also, this is where the Surf Archipelago gnotes spawn natively. And so if you have those funky little guys that made our traversal through the Hypoxia Zone a little bit cumbersome, you can feed them to those guys and get a cool ride.
Yes. Using funky little guys to get other funky little guys.
That funky little guy's name is Grand Discharge. How do we feel about that?
Boy, I hate that.
Oh!
I don't like the use of the word discharge.
That is the only one I viscerally hate.
Yeah, that's considering what's happened in this game, discharge does not sit well at all.
They can't swim, so if you throw them in the water, it's faster than actually trying to fight them.
Goop. Legally not water. Well, there's you go into the goop.
I can't swim either, it's fine.
Okay, it looks like you're just straight up using force powers. Like, all of a sudden we started going into
Give those twirly wheels a
the
turn.
new the Star Wars games.
Well, the fun thing is, this particular New Game Plus account has all of the skills unlocked from both paths. And so I am literally using a force throw. Like a Sith would. That's what's going on there. And so if you see me throwing people telepathically, yes, I am. I am a Jedi. Thank you for noticing.
Now, is that a good side or a bad side power?
That's a bad side power. The massive bolt of lightning is also a bad side power. But burping up bees that cause chaos is somehow a good side power.
So it's less force powers, more plasmids from BioShock.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. Also, I have a quick update.
Yes.
I have just been granted permission that if we reach $800 by the end of the run, we can have the amazing donation
Says they've been
be read in a
grateful.
Yoda voice.
Perfect.
$791.57. Come on, chat. I know you can do it.
I know you can do it.
Oh, only $9 away, you say?
I should start drinking water.
Yeah, maybe.
Water.
The scaffolding looks unstable. Better stay clear of the red ray. Here's the second.
Just don't
line.
mind me over here.
It's so wild to me that this area doesn't count as outside because there's walls, even though there's no roof.
There's clearly sunshine.
Alright, friend or foe? Are they shaped like a friend or a foe?
I mean, all shaped like friend. It looks like Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Or is it Rocksteady?
Timber.
Which one was which? I didn't watch
Bump will bring it down.
Ninja Turtles.
I think Bebop is the rhino,
Okay, then it looks like Bebop.
but I might be mistaken. Excuse me? Charge the pole, sir. Thank you.
Switched off the light. That looks up. Smack it to get a barrel. Come.
Does the narrator just say "splody"?
Yeah, that looks splody.
Watch it.
Was in fact the
That's
boy's
cer-
line.
I would say any red barrels if he are certainly splody.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He says
There's
you
another
may
one.
be weaker, but they won't give up. Your
Your seafood
Thanks
thanks you.
Thanks you.
Your
Dude,
tribe
tribe
is
is
growing
growing
stronger.
Stronger. I just because I feel like being a funny, I just stepped out for a second to go grab water.
Mm-hmm.
My partner, one of our friends, is sitting out in the other room, and when I walked out to go get water, I turned to them and I said, "Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger," with no context, and left.
Beautiful.
Love it.
The brain rot is truly setting in.
Your tribe,
Honestly,
thanks
I
you.
think that is a mantra for the ages. That is a chant of solidarity we can say to each other and to ourselves if we need a little pick-me-up. Because you could just be your own Sifu, you know?
I like it. I like it.
Well, I'm glad I grabbed water. Do we have time for another donation?
Yes, of course.
We have $10 from our very own Hop Hop. Thank you, your seafood does. Growing stronger, your tribe is.
Nice.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
That is going towards the We Were Here / We Were Here too. Who Escapes poll in the Leaf Blower Man Dog DLC upgrade.
I can't wait for us to unlock that DLC.
That's gonna be so great. I'm so excited. Look, I'm biased because I have my own incentive in this marathon, but that's like outside of
They've
my
been
own
waiting.
incentive.
You
I
better
think that's
plan.
my favorite
Expect-
incentive. I'm a little biased, but also that means we are again 39 cents away, and we were here too. Librarian is at $160 flat. Explorer is at $160.39. This is real fun. I love watching the little bars go back and forth.
10 out of 10. You might notice my quest objective is to find a hard hat in order for us to use a sling globber fling. What do you think that is?
Is it a sling globber or is it a sling globler?
Sling globber fling.
Is it a rocket launcher or slingshot? That's my only two options.
I want to lean more towards rocket launcher of some form.
Now that's a flesh wound.
Water balloon launcher. I'm calling it.
It could be water balloons as well. Not water balloons. Goop.
Goop
Yeah,
launcher.
goop.
Yeah.
Not goop.
Gooloons.
No, not water goop.
Gooloons.
I'm getting mixed up.
Yes, exactly. A gooloon.
Also, with that, that means we have passed $800.
Yay!
Okay, where's this donation? Oh, is it in live production?
Go look in live. Yeah, go look in live chat.
The sling globber fling was a catapult, gamers. It was a catapult.
A catapult, not the superior siege weapon of the trebuchet?
No, not a trebuchet, unfortunate.
That is a shame.
We're getting an interesting glitch where a lot of the visual effects simply aren't loading in. There was supposed to be a lightning bolt there. This is gonna be interesting. I've never had this one.
Okay. Sorry, I was reading over it.
You
Just to
ready?
make sure I think I am. Are we good for this?
I'm braced.
Is there
Hit
any-
us with it.
It's not going to be in the
so
syntax.
ready.
It's not going to be in the syntax because I don't know that I can put it in that syntax. With the voice, yes.
Yeah, just do the voice. Don't do it with the actual, I guess, phrasing.
For the biomutant, some other sale. Camping equipments like tenants, Casalana, Lana Turns, Marsha Melabel, Roaster Totos, Sleepy Babrangos, Purporting Goodlingtons, Bashit Snons, Slam Donkey Donkeys! Love you big, go fast, stay awesome.
I'm gonna need that clipped.
I need that clip.
I need that
I don't know
clipped,
who's
and I
on
need that
Twitter.
tweeted, and I will retweet that immediately.
Okay, I'm pinging social media right now.
Please do. The first time was enough already, but that was wonderful.
I don't think there's anything that can happen in this run that was more beautiful than that donation being read in that voice. Thank you for the team effort. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for the donation that made it possible.
Make it frizzle. When a story comes to you, the wire claw looks like it's strong enough to pull down.
All right, we're here at the
He was
Sifu. Let's see
helping
if he
it
wants
wouldn't go
beef.
this way. He just needs a logical
Primary
reason
beef,
to
that's
trust
what's for
you
dinner.
with he doesn't be.
He wants to fight!
But you just need to aim straight, shoot and pull, and the gate will come down.
So is your character like a mercenary, or like part of actual tribe?
So we're a mercenary that has chosen to ally with the Ankadi tribe. That's why they're here helping us. My helpers aren't particularly useful. They're just mostly just hanging out. But they are here. They exist.
I love it.
All right. The beef is quashed. At this point, I need to do some careful menuing to not accidentally continue this tribe war for 7 more tribes. There we go. We're good. This is what solidarity looks like. Chat, this is why we're here. To put our hands together and raise money for Blue Path service dogs. We're gonna save the world.
I love all of their headgear. Beautiful.
Look at this. This is unskippable, by the way. You have to watch this every time. And
I kind of love that.
The fun fact is, if you choose the bad path, this cutscene is not different. It does not matter who you ally with. This is always the same.
Why are they all the same shape?
Because they're funky little guys.
Because they're funky little guys, of course. How
Solidarity
foolish of me.
wins. Alright, now we can go talk to Out of Date again, because in the time we've been away, he'll have remembered what we need to do next. And of course, that is find the next puff. Our next puff will take us on a route that will introduce us to my favorite NPC in the game. If you know the name, don't say it. Chat, don't spoil this.
Okay.
It's
So we've had
it's
something
so good.
Puff. What was the Puff's name so far?
We've had Porky Puff, Jumbo Puff, and Hoof Puff. Merc
Is it
Puff
the puff
is the
name or
last
the
one.
NPC that leads us to the puff?
The NPC that leads us to the puff. Don't spoil that name. It's so good.
Okay, 'cause that could be
Andy.
honestly anything.
It's so good. What do you think their name
The
is?
puffs, they've got a theming. The NPCs have been truly all over the place.
I don't know that I can even take a guess.
Okay. We're about to learn the name of my favorite NPC. Are you ready? Brace yourself. It's Wiz Tinker Tonker.
Wiz I did see that name in chat before.
Wiz Tinker
That is
Tonker.
actually a name.
Who is
The
actually
Tinker Tonker.
a Tinker Tonker. That's his occupation.
But are they a soldier and or a spy?
No, they're a Tinker Tonker.
Yeah, that was a really obscure movie reference. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Ah, I see. That went so far over my head that I couldn't even perceive the joke.
You know what? That's probably for the best.
You're
Yes!
too focused on what's in front of you to get what's going on around us.
Welcome to Funaki
Visit
Leaves.
Wiz. We're off to see the Wiz, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
The Wiz. The Tinker Tonker. The Tinker Tonker Wiz?
We're gonna
No.
ease on down the road to go see Wee's Tinker Tonker, okay? It's gonna be great.
There we go.
So Wiz lives on the other side of this bay. It is deceptively far away. Now is a great time if you have information you'd like to share with folks.
Don't trip it. Just keep moving.
Hit us with it.
That there's the Guppy Hut. Might be some gill
Guppy
catching
Hut.
gear in there.
Yes. Fun fact, that Guppy Hut is where you need to bring Gil's fish. It's the only place with actually clean water. This shore right here is actually water.
Did they explain
Legal
why?
actual water.
This is actually legal water. Drinkable and fishable.
Fishable.
Dihydroxide.
How many fish live in the actual water?
That's a great question that I don't have the answer to.
Did they explain why it's the only water?
It has to do with the fact that the toxinol plant was dumping the goo directly into the liquid. and this particular position on the map is, like, not in line with the goo pipes.
That actually makes sense.
The goo's just not here.
They
You're
gooed
upstream.
everywhere else. That place is fine for some reason.
I would not use that term.
Keep your eye
Or,
on this while you're here.
Listen,
I would.
it's pollution. It's bad.
It is bad. It is definitely bad goop. But I would still not use that term.
This is Wiz.
Wiz says it. Wiz remembered.
He's a
Wiz
little.
he set
He's
up
Dr.
Wiz.
Hamsterville from
He's not-
Lilo and
he
Stitch.
knows ultimately
Yeah.
better
He's got a nice tail.
you're the-
He reminds me of Dr.
Ask
Horrible from
maybe
Dr.
a
Horrible's
maid
sing-along
impressed
blog.
says you're
Yes,
beating the-
yes.
Oh.
I'm so
He can't.
I'm so glad someone else knows that movie.
So he's sending us to go get the Mecha Fingro from Mecha Stadium. I mentioned earlier that the Mecha Fingro is a mecha finger. What do you think that means?
I've played too much.
Well, we
Elden
have
Ring.
the mecha something.
The Mecha
Earlier, that
Majut,
was
yeah.
just a literal robot horse.
Right.
Okay.
Tell it.
A robot
So
hand.
following the naming convention, this is going to be a robot something else.
Okay, okay.
What
I'm-
that something else is, I am unsure.
So
Alright.
it's Mecha Fingro.
Yes.
Monster snoozes
It's either a
thereabouts.
metal finger that looks like an inchworm that inches along the ground, or it looks like Thing from the Addams Family, but it's a robot.
Those are really good guesses.
But thing is just a hand.
Yeah.
No, wait. No, it's because it. Yes, thing is just a hand.
Thing is the hand. It is the fuzzy
Thing
one.
is just a hand.
And voiced by Snoop Dogg in the newest Addams Family animated movie.
Wait.
That's a piece of information I don't think I've ever would have gotten any other way. That is definitely some information.
I don't know if you heard it, but I just blue screened. That's beautiful, and I need to experience it now.
You blue screen from Snoop Dogg being Thing in Addams Family.
Yes, because I didn't expect
More-
Thing to have a voice.
No, still doesn't. Still doesn't. Still speaks gibberish. It's just Snoop Dogg that's doing the gibberish.
It's gibberish in Snoop Dogg's voice.
That's beautiful.
I might need to have to look this up tomorrow then.
That's beautiful. Now my
Thank
question
you for
to
the
you.
new
I'm
knowledge.
fairly confident about that. Because I remember being just as shocked as you all are.
Since we seem pretty convinced this is a robotic hand, my question to you is, do you think it has a literal finger gun?
Yes?
Well, now that you've mentioned it, yes.
The Mecha Stadium is near here.
You're probably, I don't know how much of this is you leading us on, but you're saying the metal robot
That
hand
beastie in the
has a
seats.
finger gun. In this game, of course it does.
Okay, hear me out. It's like Thing, but to fire its gun, it looks like a tank using one of its fingers. I'll let you figure out which one.
I'm just saying, I'm having trouble picturing that.
Well, here's the Mecha Fingro. It's beautiful, and I love
It
it.
literally is a mecha hand.
Unsettling it.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, it does have a finger gun. I will demonstrate real quick for the sake of novelty. Here it is.
Okay, I was wrong about which finger, but I admit that I
Amazing.
was absolutely right.
I was not gonna expect that it was actually a metal hand. But the fact it is a metal hand, the
It's
finger gun
awkward
makes sense.
Yeah.
I love
Wonderful.
I love that mount. The downside is it's incredibly slow. Because it walks the way that the Elden Ring hand spiders do. It crawls. Which is not the most effective means of travel in this game. It also has no distance in its jump. It's all vert. And so while it's good for some platforming, it is really bad at most of the rest of the platforming. Alright, gamers. I teased this NPC earlier. We're gonna go see Choo Choo at the end of the line.
Oh,
That's where I would expect Choo Choo to be. At the end of the line.
okay, still calling it train conductor's hat.
It does have the subtext of the grease sprinkler. And it is Choo Choo written with an U and not double O's.
It's gonna be like,
Still hoping the conductor's hat,
yes.
but
Wait,
I'm
wait,
ready
okay.
for it to be completely not.
It's a jellyfish with a conductor's hat.
A
Okay,
jellyfish.
Ask me my logic, because in Zelda, the slime monsters are choo-choo jellies.
Okay.
Yes,
no.
they are. I didn't want to sure if we were gonna go to Zelda logic of Zelda Choo Choo.
Why not? Why
But
not?
Zelda Choo Choos aren't just jelly monsters,
It's true,
Yeah,
they are.
like slime. So
Now, I mentioned there's Ganotes. This is the breed of Ganote. The thing I'm riding and that thing we just walked by with the big horns, same creature, just different font. There's also going to be an interesting one with a very funny face in one of the pastures over here. If you spot it closely, it kind of looks like something Dr. Seuss would make if you squint. Just magnificent creature. But we are coming up on the end of the line here. So, will we get a cutie in a railway hat?
You've reached the end of the line.
I think Railway Hat is a really strong.
Yes, we will!
Yes!
yes, we got the hat. Oh, I'm satisfied we have the hat.
Let's see.
I like to joke that Scrimbleshanks the railway cat is still working when I meet this guy. Because look at him.
No.
Cats reference?
Wonders what it
Yes.
says you've seen
Okay.
whichever
Look at him.
constant thinks every seems like
Still working the post-apocalypse?
Says he's
He's just keeping those trains rolling, you know? He's doing his job.
All the live long day.
I have noticed all the rail tracks. I was wondering if they would ever get used.
They do not get used in any meaningful way, but they are still the most effective way of traversing the map without getting hung up on anything. These are the weird Ganotes that I was telling you about. Look at their face.
You truly know your
they are.
notes.
So let me make sure I understand something. Even in the post-apocalypse, public transportation such as the train is still more efficient than individual travel.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. The infrastructure of the
without
railway
trains
is
being
key.
there.
Yeah.
Gloshes for sloshes.
Should have brought
Trains
galoshes
themselves,
I want that on a
gone.
bumper sticker.
but the tracks are still the best way to travel.
I want to
Listen,
draw your
I'm a
attention
huge train enthusiast.
to our mission.
Broken
The wing nut
In the Chug Tunnel.
in the Chug Tunnel. Is that in near Chugtown?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in a train tunnel, but what is a wing nut? It's a mechanic bat. It's in a tunnel. It's a mechanic bat.
Okay, okay.
You did mention there was a gliding mount that we were gonna get at some point.
We won't get it on the run, but it exists in the game.
It does exist. Okay.
That is a bat. This is not the bat.
This is not the bat.
This is, in fact, not even anything that we are going to be collecting. The wing nut refers to a specific rotation
wing nut
puzzle
chug
that we need to
goes on
rotate
forever.
for Choo Choo,
Oh.
because apparently he couldn't come over here and turn it himself. So we're just gonna
Wow.
drop in here real quick, find the stairs. Where are the stairs? They're over here. Loop around, find the rotation puzzle we need to rotate, and then leave. And he will give us his grace sprinkler. What do you think the grace sprinkler
So
is?
Choo Choo just refers to this as a wing nut. For no reason?
Well, it's the Wingnut Chug Tunnel, obviously.
Of course. How could I be so foolish?
I stopped asking questions of this game halfway into
No,
my
I'm here
first
for it.
playthrough.
I'm here for
Sometimes
it.
this puzzle will be solved when you walk up to it, and you have to unsolve it to resolve it. It's beautiful.
Does your intellect stat play a meaningful role in these puzzle configuration?
No, puzzles are RNG.
Okay.
Never
Because I
know
noticed
how
it said
long anything's
intellect.
been
This. I was
buried
like, well,
underground.
does that actually do anything? Or
No,
just makes you feel better?
your intellect is essentially your mana pool. It gives you key powers. Folks who are unfamiliar with this game, don't look up what the classes are. There's one of them that is an ableist term, and it's very frustrating that they titled an entire class that is effectively the mage class with an ableist term. But that particular skill tree is governed by intellect, and it dictates your pool of mana and how many spells you can use at once.
It's not.
You own doesn't know.
Choo-choo says.
And that's the
Wow.
optimal class for speedrunning,
No.
or just your preference?
I don't use that class at all. I started as a rogue, and then I just kept leveling up from there. I'm sure there's probably a optimal class, but once you get into New Game Plus, particularly at level 50 plus, like, where you start is less significant than where you are currently, because much like a Souls game, your starting class is just your starting position. You will have the opportunity to spec your little guy in a wide variety of ways, and you do have multiple types of skill points. We haven't shown that off at all because we don't need to in this run, but there is a skill tree, and it has experience-based skills that contribute to things like your dexterity and your strength, but it also has, like, your mutations, which allow you to do things like belch bees and make a, well, it's a biohazard gas, but it comes out of your body. I'm trying to say this in the politest way possible.
And an excrement.
Yes, a fanciful poof, you know? It's just a beautiful poof of color all around your body. But those are your biomutations.
Excrement.
Yes. And then there's also your psi
Lovely.
powers, which are more like magic. So that
So
would include the
force
like
powers.
the force powers, the lightning bolt. There's a levitation skill. There are, I want to say, well over 20 different unique mutations and psionic powers you can get in this game, but you can only have 4 of them equipped at any time.
It's not too bad, though, honestly.
Yeah, it could be worse. And you can still activate them from the menu. It's just your hotkeys are set up in a way where you can only have 4.
Yeah.
So people who are patient can activate more of them more readily.
So I'm guessing Pyro Stick is dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Just my guess.
Well, we're gonna get an unbanged pyro stick right here. I'm curious,
That looks
Is-
like an
is this dynamite?
unbanged pyro stick on the loose. Better catch
It-
it before it goes
It's
off.
closer to fireworks.
I think it would also include gunpowder.
Yeah?
It is it has a fuse and is filled with gunpowder, maybe?
but it's flapping.
I am confused.
Mm-hmm. The world is wonderful and bizarre.
I love the whimsy in it, though. I gotta be honest. Like, I love that it's not taking itself so self-serious that it's not fun to play anymore. I feel like it's very self-aware of going, yeah, it's a silly game, but we're having fun with it. And all in all, looks like a pretty solid, like, if you told me this was just another iteration of a Far Cry game, I'd be like, you know what? A little weird. I'm here for it, though. Like, it has the Far Cry system of, like, taking over encampments and things like that, and fast traveling. This is a Far Cry game with animals. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Our last distraction item slash creature that we're going to pick up is a guppo. What do you think a guppo is?
Okay.
Not
It is-
a fish.
Yeah, it's legally distinct from a fish. So it could live in
Legally
the-
distinct, not a fish. Because what Gil had, that was a fish.
Mm-hmm.
A guppo, not a fish.
I summoned my ride and it immediately ran away, so I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a weird,
This is Guppy.
legally distinct fish. Because they just call it Guppy Grotto, so... Yeah, legally distinct fish.
This is a fully matured guppo.
Okay, it's...
I see tentacles of some form.
We're gonna go get little ones, though. Don't worry about that.
They just look like leeches.
So I mentioned earlier that there are puzzles that spawn in ways that are actually unsolvable. This one is the one that is the most notorious. We didn't have enough moves to solve that puzzle. Let's see how many tries it takes to get RNG that will let us solve the puzzle. Nope. Alright,
Three that is.
perfect! 3 tries!
Two unsolvable, and then that. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome to
truly a game.
BioMutant.
Yeah, and I will say that chat is saying was saying for their guesses for the guppo that all of them just say friend.
Friend, nice, nice. Here's our fishing minigame.
Is that a legally distinct fish?
Truly
Yes.
the mark of a real good game.
Yeah.
Fishing minigame.
We gotta stand
Zelda
where the
can have
guppos spawn and then catch them as they hop out. I've found that if you try to move to them while they're moving out of the water, you will not get there in time. So you literally have to stand on top of the guppos and wait for them to pop out.
Fair.
Now, on your bingo card, that does not exist for this game. Was skydiving on your list? Particularly indoor skydiving.
Like
no.
with a giant fan skydiving?
Yes.
So we're in Wind Waker.
Outdoor skydiving maybe
it's
would
straighter
have
than you
been.
think.
Indoor, not at all.
Can't
Well,
imagine why we would
good
Sky Zone.
news. We are indoor skydiving.
Wonderful to see.
You see, all the amenities of the human world are still here to torment us. Just without the people.
Both to torment and provide us some form of enjoyment.
Now, while you're solving these, I did have a question. So, you mentioned earlier that you currently have the world record for console?
Yes.
PC.
Console, new game plus any percent. It would be glitchless, but it's impossible to play this game without glitches happening.
Got it. It's the no
One of
intentional
those.
Yes.
One of those games, like Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
Because speedrunner at heart. So asking about like
That
what
seems
kind of like is it a big is it a fairly active game
It's
as a
just
community,
another
or
being this
is it
means
looking for a little bit of infusion of if you don't mind me asking in that way.
Yeah. A lot of the folks that have times on the board ran this as a new game PC run when it came out. And so I'm currently the only active runner for this game. I'm also the only person that runs this category of the game. I want to say that the folks who run the community haven't really done a lot with like promoting the runs in the past like year or so, but it's fairly recent that folks have been active in this space.
Okay.
That being said, there is a Discord where people are still posting about learning the run, and there are moderators in there that are willing to sort of help you get your feet beneath you as far as setting up for the runs and getting your builds put together. So it's not inactive, it's just not a like very, very busy community, if that makes sense.
It's not Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it's not Ocarina of Time, but there are folks that are around.
Okay.
And I would love to see more folks running this game.
Honestly, I mean, it looks like a game that I would honestly consider picking up. Because, I am, like I said, speedrunner. I am doing a couple marathons later on here, and one of them was picking up a game I have literally never laid eyes on, and I have to speedrun it. So, like, that sort of thing sort of interests me in looking at different communities of these games and finding out, what is it like? Is there an active space for it? Is it very... Is it an obtainable speedrun for beginners?
I think this is a really beginner-friendly speedrun because the tasks are extremely straightforward. They're repetitive enough that it's easy to understand your loops of what you need to do and where you need to go. The quest marker system is really good. And the combat is easy enough to wrap your head around that once you figure out what build works for you, you should have an okay time with it. I think if you are the type of speedrunner that enjoys runs with a lot of interesting tech and like high precision execution, the any percent PC downpatched run is probably something that will speak to you. Just because it's a much faster pace, you use the wrong warps, it's exciting. I think there might even be oobs. So like that run is a very precise and interesting thing to execute, whereas this one is much more chill. It's a low percent run, and it's much more beginner friendly in my opinion.
Okay. Old, just imagine.
We're gonna invite Wiz Tinker Tonker onto the arc with us real quick.
Nice.
Now, we did just skip over most of the fight while you were talking.
Yeah.
So you were fighting
The Merc Puff. Yes.
Which is interesting turtle puff creature. And you were in your submarine squid.
Yes.
That you did tell us to guess the name of, but I didn't see the name ever come up.
It was the Octopod.
The Octopod.
Yes.
That does make sense considering the shape of it, yes.
Merc Puff,
should
unfortunately.
And all.
Yes.
All the parents in the crowd just cringed a little bit.
Merc Puff is one of my favorite fights. It might even be my favorite fight in the game. I like Jumbo Puff a lot, but that one, as you can see, I love the cycles of that fight. I think it is very approachable. And with a fully upgraded Octopod, you're in and out. Merc Puff is just a beautiful experience.
Definitely the fastest fight of the 4 so far.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I also just really vibe with the Godzilla-inspired kaiju design. Top tier Puff for me.
It reminds me of a boss monster in a game that I'm not going to list because I do not want to give away spoilers. But it very much reminds me of a boss in a recent release.
Beautiful. Speaking of bosses, we're about to go back to talk to Lupa Lupin. Look at that mission objective of accept your destiny. How do we feel about that?
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Wow.
Yeah, it does also say end of the world,
fine.
so... I'm not sure if I feel fine after this game, to be honest. But, so either something happened, clearly, clearly didn't do enough
but he knows
to save the tree, I guess?
to stand back and let the tribe handle it.
Well,
Oh, Lupa Lupin is looking very different than he did before.
he's bigger, he's angrier, and he's gonna throw so many little dudes.
So my guess with Face Your Destiny, it's definitely implying that thematically you could die. That you might not make it back to the Ark in time because you're actually facing Lupa Lupin. But I mean, we know that you're gonna live because that just doesn't make for great compelling gameplay.
It's true. This is so high stakes that our Sifu has joined the battle. He's using the Ankati bow. That is the second most powerful weapon that I've discovered in the game. It's the ranged weapon that I prefer to use. Fun fact, any of your gimmick fight, so like the Goo Glide, the Mechafingro, the Mechton, all of those ranged combat sequences scale off of whatever ranged weapon you have equipped. And so mine scale off of the Ankari bow, which has a base damage of 800 points. It also has a rapid fire that can be exploited by manually pressing the fire to do double shots. So if you are into ranged combat, I highly recommend that one. It is a tribe weapon and can only be acquired by being friends with the Ankari tribe. Some of the other tribe weapons are really disappointing. Myriad tribe, who we defeated, has a boomerang that only does like 350 damage. So when I say I chose my tribe war strategically, that is another reason why I moved with purpose during that segment.
Actually, it was the best thematically and truly for gameplay wise.
I know. I stand a nice boomerang, but not a 300 damage.
300 damage feels like it's good damage when most of the guns in the game only do like 100 to 150. Because there are guns in this game, but you have to assemble them from scrap metal yourself.
Because there's a novelty of that. You gotta make sure it's good to back it up.
I mentioned this fight is 6 rounds long. Now we're underground.
I'm guessing he punched you so hard you into the ground.
He did. He punched so hard we fell through the earth.
Truly, you are Gandalf.
Truly, we are gaming.
I mean, the sizings do kind of match. Gandalf and the Balrog.
You shall not pass!
By the flames of Ildur.
Hey, let me go. That's so rude.
They do have a flaming sword, so... By the flames of Ildur, indeed.
Also, I love that combo that he uses where he picks you up, throws you, and punches you. I don't know why, but that is very aesthetically pleasing.
There's a longer change that he can do in the 5th or 6th round of this fight, where he follows that up with, after he throws you, he dive bombs you and then tries to like somersault you and throw you again. It's a very cool combo and it sucks to receive.
I can imagine.
No. Don't equip the wrong weapon. I need to heal. Thank you. From a UI perspective, this game is very accessible, but there is one consistent issue that I have, and you might have noticed it throughout this run. It's that all of the radial menus are toggled the same way. So if you notice me like equipping weapons in a weird way or trying to heal funnily, it's because they're all attached to my D-pad. And once you're in the D-pad, you have to hit the D-pad again in a different direction, and sometimes, much like dialogue and other inputs, there's overlap, and so it's misinterpreting which sequence you're putting things in. And so rather than heal me, like go to the heal menu and then pick the one on the right, it'll go to the weapon menu, which is on the right, and then try to heal me from there, but it can't, you know?
It's not cash money, but... Could use some UI updates, huh?
Now, he's in his final phase, he's strong, he's angry. He has AoE attacks now that can shoot you across the arena if you get hit with them. But my weapon is strong enough that if I land a critical strike, it'll stun him out of literally any move that he tries to do. So my goal here is to try and bully him into a corner so that way he can't teleport away and can't hit us with AoEs. That being said, if I miss one of them, that will happen.
Wow.
Which is why we stock up with so many heals.
So this is the 6th phase that we were talking about?
Yes, this is the final phase of the fight. This is not time when we beat him. There will be a very small walking segment after this, which is perhaps one of the funniest moments of the game. And I'll show you why when we get there.
It's the funniest moment in an already very funny game.
Here's our final moral choice. We're gonna live and let live, which is actually not the thing you want to do if you want the cycle of violence to end. If you want the cycle of violence to end and you want your people to truly be safe, you have to kill Lupa Lupa in here. Because if you don't, in the epilogue, the narrator will talk about how he's still eating people. But because I want all of our friends here who have aggregated to get onto the ark, we have to be a good guy. Mind you, this is our narrator here. The automaton, the cricket friend, was the mirage the whole time.
Disaster and haven't lost your balance yet.
Wow.
It's because of you, the Tree of Life, and the world.
The world has been given a second chance. We did do enough to save
carried
it.
the light in a world full of dark and made a difference in a
We're
place
recovering
so
from our
easy to
trauma.
change.
Look at us. We're recovering.
You
we have allies. Our bestie, the Ankati chief. Our Sifu. There's
Your
our Muma.
Sifu, thank
Rest in
you.
peace. We miss her. There's Muma.
Polarities of life. One
07.
can't exist
07 for
without the
Muma.
other.
We never met her.
Does the design of Muma based on
This
what you
isn't
designed
the
for
end.
your own?
Just
Like
being
little guy?
surrounded
Nope.
by nature as it
Nope.
heals
Always the
itself
same,
will
understandable.
rejuvenate us.
That's kind of cool in a weird
Nature
way.
will teach us how to
You
survive.
never meet your...
So, trust your conscience.
I was
to
gonna
show
call him a
you the
poopa,
way,
but they
and
don't have a
everything
name
else
for
will
whatever
follow.
the father figure is. I say this is the funniest thing because look at them walk. Look at Wiz. He's doing his best.
They all just fall to you.
I almost just walked off a cliff. Okay, time is gonna be whenever we get to the cutscene at the end of the arc. I'm pretty good at timing it out, so it'll be in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time.
As for
Hey, GG.
you were
Woo,
destined to split with
GGs.
the
Let's see who's on the arc with us.
But
We've
you're
got the
not alone.
Sifu. Let's
You joined
go.
the ark, and those that shared
We've
your
got
perspective
Gulp.
gained your
Let's
trust
go.
and accompanied you on your journey.
We've got Nako. Let's go.
Woohoo!
Choo choo's on the arc.
We stand trains.
Wiz, Cheeker, Talker. We got everybody. Let's go. The funny thing is if we get all 5 NPCs, there's no room on the arc for out of date and there's no room on the arc for us. So we get left behind, baby.
We
do
faced
love
our
that we
destiny.
saved the world,
Mm-hmm.
but we also send people away from the world.
Where are they going?
We don't
The
know.
Biomutant 2?
We don't know. They don't know.
Biomutant 2.
Ending the story.
I don't even want to know what that would be like. This is
a beginning of
this has
something
certainly been
new.
experienced.
So my question to you, now that we are at the end of this, what is this game?
It's
A
okay.
thing.
That's a loaded question.
It is a lot of things. I think I know what they were trying to do is make it just be cool. Some of it might have not landed, but ultimately what I think is it was very self-aware and was just like, you know what? Let's be silly. Let's tell a cool story. But let's have fun with it. And I think that makes me like it. It's a fun and good game.
There's definitely the strands of a lot of different things there. And I think you didn't cover enough of it in the speedrun that someone could go into this game and play and discover a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, the speedrun touches on 13% of the game's content.
Oh, wow.
That leaves a lot to be discovered.
There is so much more game in this game. If you enjoyed the whimsy of this at all, I highly encourage you to pick it up. I didn't even realize this was in my library. I got it for free through PS Plus in Q3 of 2022. So if you're a PlayStation user, you might already have a copy of this game in your library somewhere. I recommend that if you have access to it, you check it out. Because even if you don't vibe with it, it is an experience that is unique and different enough that I think everyone should check it out a little bit.
I might just.
I might just as well. I forgot that I now have access to PlayStation Plus. So, well, awesome run. Fantastic run. Thank you so much, BigScared, for doing this run for us. Thank you so much to our commentators. We really appreciated having you here at Multithon. With that, we will be going to an intermission. We are just not too far away from our next run coming up, which is going to be We Were Here and We Were Here Too. And so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much once again, BigScared, for being here. And we will see you in a bit as we go to our break.